All right, we're testing this out. Am I live? Is Foolish Bailey live? I really don't know. Did I enter in the stream key correctly? I might have to go do that. I'm keeping an eye out here on the chat and YouTube. I should probably tweet this out too. Okay, looks like I'm live right there. That looks good. That looks, for the most part, acceptable. Yo, okay, here we go. Perfect. We got some chatters. Lou Dort is here. Amazing. Thank you, Lou Dort, for tuning in. Let's get this. Let's get the link to this stream tweeted out so that others can join. Oh, I gotta change the thumbnail for that. I guess I should do that. I have a hemorrhoid. I'm sorry to hear that. Cease is missing. Ooh. Shouts to Ethan Katz, man. Someone bumped one of my tweets from April 2021. And it was me saying, oh, if Ethan Katz fixes Dylan Cease, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Because he did it with Giolito. Now he's really done it with Cease. Cease has been awesome. Give me some Kirk love, Bailey. There's nothing really much else to say. I mean, he's just awesome. And I've been a Kirk lover for quite some time, you know, when he was in the minors. He just has more than anything, he just has a beautiful body. And I'm not afraid to admit it. Have you made your World Series predictions, Bailey? Yeah, I'm thinking it's the Pirates year, to be honest with you. I think Pirates are looking pretty good this year. Now that they have Oniel Cruz, they're pretty much going to be unstoppable in the second half. We have anthem singer. We have large three bomber planes. I don't know what they are, flying over. Ohtani getting traded or not? I would lean toward not. Stevenson is better than Will Smith. I don't think that's true. Will this be archived, Mr. Baseball? I believe so. I believe this will be archived. I don't much know why someone would come watch this after the fact, but if they want to, they should be able to do that. Saw the anthem, not gonna lie. I had my stream muted, so I did not hear it, but good for whoever that was. The anthem at the Derby last night, not the best. Not the worst, but not the best. Okay, how do I change the... Go to that, ba-da-da. Do that. I still see no way to change this thumbnail. I'm just trying to figure that out right now. Bailey, NL or AL? Let's just take a look at these lineups. I'm kind of feeling good about the NL this year. I feel like their pitching's really good. We'll just have to see, though. I'm going to take the NL to win this one. Omar's taking the AL. Over under 106 seconds for the anthem. You never know. Oh, geez. Okay, let me figure this out. AL always wins. Well, here's the thing. So this is part of some All-Star Game lore. Okay, so in the 2000s, mostly you recalled the AL going on just an insane stretch of dominance. Like they just could not be beat. There was that one year they tied, but basically beyond that, the AL won every year. The AL was just winning the All-Star Game, and The reason for that, in my opinion, is because, and this is a true fact, like I'm not making this story up, Ichiro would give a profanity-laced, like pump-up speech about how they were gonna kick the NL's Batuti, except he wouldn't say Batuti. And I really just think, Ichiro's presence motivated the AL to really take that thing seriously. And they just, when they had Ichiro, they always won. They literally always won. It's crazy. And that's not like a make-believe thing. That is something that actually happened. I don't know if that's necessarily why they won, but that is something that was like an annual tradition. Every year, Ichiro would give the speech. Fun fact number 1 of the stream. That's a fun fact for many. This is like a live stream at Bailey's house. It's not really a house; it's an apartment, but still. Favorite Souls game? I haven't played enough of them to tell you. I know I streamed Baseball Souls on here, but I've really played through Dark Souls 1 a bunch of times. I'm like halfway through 2, and I haven't really been gaming since the season started at all. Like, I was going to work my way through the series. I was going to play 2. I was going to play 3. I was going to play Sekiro. Can't play Bloodborne because I didn't have a PC port yet. And then, obviously, working my way up to Elden Ring. But I just haven't been able to game all year. I'm just like, I don't know how to put it. Like, I make YouTube videos, man. That is what I do. You play Mario Super Sluggers? Nice haircut, Bailey. Looking good. Thanks. 100% of your baseball intake. That's really kind of you. Did you watch I Am Clone? I watched a little bit of it. I was gone for a lot of it, so I wasn't really able to watch. The Twist highlight where, first of all, Twist went absolutely nuts those last few rounds, right? But the highlight with him jumping over from Nuke Silo onto the roof is just crazy. Like, it's just a crazy entry, and just like the timing, like I think Rain threw a flashbang that like went off at the same time, and so I guess he got like electronic with that, and like electronic couldn't like hear or see anything that was going on before it was too late. So that just, that was a lot of fun. FaZe, Twist, I guess, is sort of the only truly relevant like NA player at the moment. But yeah, how do you feel about the Braves' chances to win the division? I feel pretty good. I would give the Braves I'm 70% sure they're going to win the division. That's what I'm going to give them. 70%. I think if you go on Fangraphs right now, they might tell you 45% or something like that. OC is pretty good. That's true. Where do you want to see Juan Soto land? As a Braves fan, outside the division would probably be a good start. Yeah, as far as where he could go, I don't know. I don't really feel like any outcome's going to make me particularly happy. The Cardinals would be interesting. I'm not really sure if it would make me happy, but it would be interesting. Buxton's batting average, yeah. Well, he's got a 2... No, wait, I'm not looking at him. Where's Buxton? There he is, right there. 250 XBA. That's not terrible. Favorite sport other than baseball, Bailey? I'm going to go with soccer. Football's pretty good, too. I really enjoy fantasy football more than football. Like, I'm a big fantasy football player, much more so than fantasy baseball. Who invited my man Jeff McNeil? Yeah, he thinks he's on the team. Soto or Ohtani getting 500 million? Definitely Soto of those two. I think Soto's definitely gonna be the first player to get 500 million. I mean, just turned down 440, so he's 88% of the way there, you know. Did you do a breakdown of the Tommy Pham slap? I never really did. I mean, based on some of the things I was reading about the league, I just couldn't really get to the bottom of what was the infraction, right? What was the thing that happened within this fantasy football league that led to the slap? Here's my take. Like, you can't change the rules after you draft. That's just a simple, no matter, even if it's a very simple rule change, you can't change the rules after you draft. And if that indeed did happen, then I think the slap, you could argue, is justified. But if you're just taking advantage of rules as far as like adding, dropping certain players so that they get caught up in the waiver system, so that, you know, your opponent can't pick up a fill-in for a bye week, that's fair. All's fair in love and fantasy in that case. But what you can't do is change the rules after you draft. So until we know exactly what's going on, like, I try to stay out of it. Fantasy soccer, I had a couple years where I was playing Fantasy Premier League. I was pretty good at it. Like, I was, I think there's probably a few million entries in Fantasy Premier League every year, and I got top 100,000 both years I played. It was like 60, 70,000, somewhere around there usually. Hey man, love your video. Love from Ireland. Stitchy13, thank you very much. Very kind of you. It's fantasy. Come on. Come on, guys. It's fantasy. Okay. Oh, okay. My thumbnail. That looks like me. I think I'm cool for that. Think you should get rid of the fan vote, at least for the first stage? I don't really think so. I don't have a problem with the fan vote. This is a game for the fans, you know? And so the fans should see who they want to see. And look, they're going to be wrong sometimes. I don't think there's any doubt about that, but you know, this is an exhibition. Sports are about entertainment. And if the fans choose the wrong people, well, that's just something they have to live with, you know? It's all about their entertainment. Who's your pick for Rookie of the Year? I'm going to take Julio in the American League. In the National League, I'm going to take Spencer Strider. As a Braves fan, it's interesting because Harris and Strider are arguably the top two, they're arguably 1 and 2 for NL Rookie of the Year right now. I kind of think Harris doesn't have the offensive profile where he's like, his defense is amazing, but I have more faith in Strider at the moment, even if his innings are going to be limited in the second half, I imagine, you know. Alcantara or Gonsolin Alcantara for sure. The Braves have just been, it's been really interesting. So much of their production this year has come from guys who weren't with them for that World Series run, whether it's Acuna, whether it's Strider, whether it's Harris, whether it's Contreras, you know. Who's the better Contreras brother? I would have to say Wilson. I just think he's proven it, but I mean, Williams doing a very good job. Should Benintendi be an all-star? So Cody Cleveland, I did a thing where I was looking at I did like F4 all-stars, and this was a few weeks ago, but it was like, what would the all-star rosters look like if F4 was the determining factor? And that made Benintendi the Royals representative. And I really like how Benintendi's played this year so far. Alcantara is the perfect belly pitcher because of innings pitched. That's true. One game for your life, Scherzer or Verlander? I think I'll take Scherzer. Who's winning the All-Star Game MVP tonight? I'm gonna go for... That's a really good question. All-Star Game MVP tonight. I'm going to say Trey Turner. Who do you think will win the NL? I say Dodgers. Why is Lucas Giolito not the starting pitcher and leadoff hitter? I have a William Dennis. I have a Lucas Giolito rookie card that's a short print that's of him batting as a Washington National. It's a very funny baseball card. Very, very proud to have it in my collection. Here we go. Chris Hemseth with the super chat. I believe that's what it's called on here. $4.99. Hey, love the music you have your vids. Ever thought of using some tracks from PMD? It's a pretty similar vibe to what you use. I don't really know what PMD is. So I guess in that sense, I haven't thought of using tracks from PMD because I don't really think I know what it is. I've got a couple composers, William Cage and Maxo. Shouts out to them. Maxo, by the way, is he's in the middle of promoting. He did music for the Netflix show Battle Kitty, which I have not seen. I believe it's children's programming, but congrats to Maxo. But yeah, I have two guys, I have 2 releases from each. And so it's like I have 4 total Baseball Bits soundtracks that I can just kind of rotate through. And it's cool because, you know, I don't have to worry about copyright anymore because I have a relationship with the people who are actually making the music, which I used to not have when I was just using random video game soundtracks. So I'm seeing Kershaw walk out to the mound right now. That's kind of where I'm at in my stream. You may be a little bit different depending on how you're watching. Bobby Miller or DL Hall, Dynasty League keeper? I would lean DL Hall, Jay Cronin. Just because I feel like Miller is more of a risk for being just a bullpen guy than Hall. Remember how this used to determine home field in the World Series? Yes, that was a misguided attempt because here's the thing. They try hard enough in this. This is not like the Pro Bowl. This is not like the NBA All-Star Game. Like, this is a great All-Star Game because for the most part, the guys are trying their best. You know, the pitchers are going out there, they're throwing hard, and they're throwing 1 inning, and they're acting like it's basically a bullpen for them in between 2 starts. It's really cool. So, if this were the equivalent for Pro Bowl or NBA All-Star Game, the pitchers would be throwing. There's a new update for Malware Bytes, just so you know. There's a there'd be pitchers throwing 60 miles per hour, and everyone would be doing the Anthony Rendon where you bat left-handed, except you probably wouldn't even hit a homer. Let's see if I refresh this. Do we get our game feed yet? Nope. Yep. Okay, here we go. What are you guys thinking of the decision to have this decided by a home run derby after 9 innings if it ends in a tie? I feel like that's ultimately we have to root for, right? We have to root for home run derby tiebreaker just because we haven't seen it yet. And but yeah, pretty cool stuff. I think it's a great idea too, and it's almost like why wouldn't they have impromptu done that the one year they actually did tie, right? Like in that upsetting. Ty France wins it then. I mean, first of all, Chuck57I, Ty France's name is Ty. So obviously that's who you want in any sort of tiebreaker, the guy whose name is Ty. Like that's nominative determinism right there. Each team should pick their best pitcher to try to hit home run tiebreaker for Derby. Very interesting idea. Very interesting idea. So, I mean, I don't think you could have Ohtani in that. That would be kind of unfair. I guess he's not really a pitcher because he's the starting DH. But yeah, I'd love to see, I'd love to see some pitchers. Hashtag pitchers hitting. Can we get ump cam at least on replays? It's also a good question. Schwarb did get screwed. If we're talking about the apparently there's a miscount on the home runs last night. I didn't see that. Like I didn't watch the full video, so I haven't gotten a chance to really look at that. By the way, I should say Ohtani leadoff single. I mean, you've probably seen that, but you can see the game feed right here and also right up here in case you're just kind of wondering what's going on in the game. I don't think I'm going to be talking too much about like what I'm seeing as I'm watching the game, but just it's more hanging out with you guys while we watch the All-Star game together, you know? Alcantara should have pitched, but Kershaw sells more. And I don't have any problem with that, Smeepy Beeps. Like, Kershaw's never started All-Star game. And, you know, Ohtani. And, it's an exhibition. It's for our entertainment, you know? I'm just so stoked for Alcantara this year. It's just awesome. It is just awesome. And, you know, I had him in my Foolish 50 at number 40. I thought I was really sticking my neck out for him there. I think MLB Network had him at like 80. I don't think there were a lot of other lists where he appeared, and he's just gone like so far and beyond that in the first half of the season. It's just been an absolute pleasure to watch. He has probably been my two favorite players to watch this year, just in general, have been Jose Ramirez and Sandy Alcantara. Those are just like if I was like a 5-year-old child and you were like, who are your favorite baseball players? I'd be like, Sandy Alcantara, Jose Ramirez. Like, that's just how it is. Like, I feel like it's almost a childlike wonder at just those two. He was Paul's NL Cy Young pick on Fangraphs. Wow. What a show-off you are. What a show-off you are. Sandy Koufax's pretty good too. Hop Dad. Hop Bad, not Hop Dad. Don't be like, don't call me Hop Dad. That's my father. You know. I guess someone called me Mr. Baseball. Favorite is Devers right now. I mean, Devers and J-Ram pretty similar at the moment. It's just in terms of the seasons they're having. Thoughts on Matt Carpenter? That has been a lot of fun. That has been one of the highlights of the first half so far. And it's so fascinating because, I mean, that's, you know, he is truly built for Yankee Stadium in a way that few players are. And just to see him turn around and be an impact player for a great team after he was like DFA'd by like the Rangers, like AAA. It's awesome. It's so great to see, and he looks good with the mustache. What else can I say? I tweeted the other day he has I believe it's the highest slugging percentage through 30 games in MLB history. Which it's weird because he's at 92 plate appearances, so he's technically not qualified in the sense of averaging 3.1 plate appearances a game, but like still, like it was minimum 75 plate appearances through 30 games. He's the all-time slugging leader, which is just ridiculous. Do I think Carpenter's success is sustainable? Absolutely, Nico. Like, I think he's going to have like 1,400 OPS at the end of the year. I absolutely think it's sustainable. And then he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer at that rate. So I think he'll definitely sustain it. I think he'll probably hit about 60 home runs this year. Remember you said Edmundo Sosa makes me so sad for my breakout picks. Yeah, so here's the thing, Josh, and I'm going to say it right now because I'm on Savant, so it's a little bit easier for me to show you. So I believe that I was fed some incorrect information, and I don't think that ultimately meant that much, but it is important. So 93rd percentile max exit velo, so he topped out at 114 last year. But if you look at all his other batted balls, just like throughout his career, he doesn't really have any over like 108. So I think this 114.6 is just like a massive like outlier, probably like a failure of like the StatCast, like the cameras and the measuring system. I'm not sure this number is correct, and it sort of led me to believe he had a lot more raw power than he actually does. And so I was kind of, I was misled and run amok a little bit, I think, on Edmundo Sosa. But I mean, it's been a bad year. There's no doubt about that. Hasn't been the best year for him. And the thing is, like, part of that prediction was that like DeJong would falter and that there would be openings in that middle infield. But we've seen those openings seized not by Edmundo Sosa, rather, Nolan Gorman, Brandon Donovan. I mean, obviously Tommy Edman having an amazing year. Guys like that instead. What's the minimum amazing season you could have to make the Hall of Fame after one career year? I'm not really sure such a season exists. But maybe the closest would be what Ohtani did last year, 105 off the bat for Vladdy on that, by the way. That's a hard hit ball. 2-degree launch angle. He giveth and he taketh. If Soto gets traded, who do you think he's going to? I'm kind of leaning St. Louis the more I think about it. First of all, like, they do that. Like, the St. Louis Cardinals get to, for whatever reason, trade for one of the top players in the league every about year and a half, it seems like. Because they got Goldschmidt and they got Arenado, and now it's about time for them to pick someone else up. They have the prospects to do it, I think. And I think they maybe have the most to gain by acquiring Soto in terms of putting them, from like a fringy playoff team to like a convincing playoff team. How did Ohtani get picked off? Well, not Scherzer. Kershaw made a really nice move. Alec Burleson could definitely be out. Like, that would be like the least of my concerns. I mean, probably it's going to take like Jordan Walker, Don't you think Soto will bring in more than just prospects? Yeah, it sounds like they're looking for some combination of MLB ready talent and prospects. So yeah, it's going to be a package no matter what. There's probably going to be 4 or 5 people involved just if Soto were to get traded. I'm actually kind of leaning towards he won't get traded. I feel like it's not going to happen. At least not before this trade deadline. Fresh cut, my guy. Thank you. Got it yesterday. Who do you have in the AL? I still kind of think the Astros are the team to beat just based on how this first half has gone. They just look like a really good team. You could get Soto for less if you pick up Corbin with him, and that's been thrown out there a lot, And honestly, Corbin, as awful as he was last year, he's had some decent starts lately. And so if you pick up Corbin, maybe it is just a DFA, or depending on which team does the trade, maybe maybe they could get some use out of him. I don't know. You don't buy. First of all, your name is also Foolish Planet. You don't buy into the Astros record inflated by weak AL West narrative. I never even heard that narrative. The AL West isn't even that weak. Like, the Mariners have won 14 in a row now, so something like that. Nats want to let Soto walk. Well, that's what he does. He walks all the time. I'm not sure if you've watched him play before, but so you've got Acuna with a leadoff double, and it's like, are we going to see Shane McClanahan common success or uncommon failure in this situation? I wonder. I love me some Shane McClanahan. There's no doubt about that. One of my absolute favorite pitchers. Very glad he's starting this game for the American League. What's wrong with Brios? Man, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer. I think it's really hard to pitch in Toronto. I think that may be part of it. It was granted harder when they were playing in a different stadium every year. Bailey, who's your favorite player on the New York Mets? I would go Luis Guillorme. I've just always enjoyed him, and this year he seems to be really like breaking out and playing a big role on that team. But I've always just kind of liked him. I always like a glove guy, OBP guy without much power. Like he's like a fundamentally like good hitter, and I enjoy watching him play. So I'm gonna go with Luis Guillorme for my favorite New York Met. I mean, obviously DeGrom, right? But he hasn't even played this year. He's getting there though, which is very exciting. What do you think the Braves upgrade at the deadline? Any specific names? I think the Braves, I would love to see them try to get like because man, they're getting like so little out of Ozuna. Like, I really think it's possible Ozuna could play himself into DFA territory. I mean, that contract has just not worked in any regards. And when you're a team like the Braves, this is going to be not success for Shane McClanahan the way this is going, as the NL have now picked up a run. But what was I going to say? They have so many like corner outfield DH types because they have Rosario, and I mean Acuna's playing a lot of corner outfield because of Michael Harris, and they got Duvall, who hasn't been great, and they Zuna. I really kind of wouldn't mind getting another one of those guys into the mix, and I think maybe David Peralta could be an interesting. Whoa, that was special. That was special. That was a wow. I'm kind of lost for words at that. That was great to see. Guys, I got to get this link tweeted out. I literally never did that. I think I said I was going to do that in the first minute of the stream. And I'm yet to do it. I'm live. How about that? That's about as easy as it goes. Okay. And Paul Goldschmidt. I told you guys, Shane McClanahan can't even get it out. Look, it's an exhibition game. It's an exhibition game. Let him do his thing, okay? Respect McClanahan. It's an all-star game. It is not common failure. You see his note. It is not common failure. Failure is very uncommon for him. However, Paul Goldschmidt, increasingly common success. I will say that. It is Paul Goldschmidt, like, scheduled success at this point. When you guys asked me who's MVP, I almost said Paul Goldschmidt, and then I was like, Trey Turner. It is not common L. It is not. How dare you? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. I hope my microphone is clipping, just so I'm getting my point across in a distorted fashion. Andrew Barron, by the way, thank you for the $5, even though your message is just not one I can necessarily get down with. If you want to be amazed, check out Corey Seager's expected stats. It's like that every year. I mean, it was like that. It's like that for him all the time. That's why I kind of love him and rate him high in the Foolish 50 all the time. Because, man, he just crushes the ball consistently. I mean, I haven't even looked at them this year, but I know his X stats are higher than his actual. And part of it's the shift, too. Wearing their standard uniforms is much better. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think these look bad. Well, okay, I like the National Leagues. I don't really like the American Leagues. But yeah, they should just wear their own uniforms. That was obviously the best look. Trey Turner single. Okay, I'm telling you, he's on his way. He just needs maybe like a double and a homer, and EP, a couple RBIs. I don't know. Score a run here, steal a base. I don't know. I'm really I'm really pleased with the Contreras brothers starting this game. That is, I think, one of the most fun storylines. And maybe I'm just biased as a Braves fan, but I don't know how many other times you've had two brothers starting in the same All-Star game for the same team. I don't know if this is the first time. I don't know if there were some a lose that did it, or I don't know, but it's not a common thing, and so it's really cool to see just like bloodlines persisting. Thoughts on Mariners deadline in the next few years? Well, I think the Mariners are in a very, here's my take on the Mariners. It's always been like, and I feel like I said this, by the way, I said this like early 2021, like maybe even before the season started. I was like, the Mariners are going to be like a very successful team. The rebuild is going to work. They have the prospects. They have the young guys to make it happen. It's just, they're going to be a good team for years to come. They're going to make the playoffs. The question is it going to be this year? And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be this year. I have a good feeling because I think a lot of it hinges on, I feel like Julio Rodriguez is sort of this franchise-altering talent. Like, I could feel like, they could start to reel off division wins with him the same way the Braves did once Acuna got up. And now that Rodriguez is up and he's doing very well, then I think you can have, like, some high expectations for them. But, yeah, I mean, I think long-term the Mariners are in a great spot. I've thought that for years. I don't think every rebuild works, but I just like their collection of prospects. I think they have enough good young players. I'm kind of expecting them to be potentially the best team in the AL West for like the next, let's say, 8 years. We'll have to see how Houston, they've been sustainable winners for a long time. They don't look like they're going to let up anytime soon, but I really think the Mariners could be in that mold. I just don't know if 2022 is the year or not. I hope it is for them. I didn't really believe in them at all throughout 2021. I didn't feel great about them coming into this year even because I wasn't sure when Julio was going to be up. I thought, I thought perhaps rightfully that, the last year was kind of a mirage with all the run differential, fun differential stuff. But yeah, I feel really good about the Mariners long term. It's just I don't know when the success starts. I don't know if it's this year or next, So that's kind of my Mariners take. I just don't know. Like, I definitely believe in the long-term vision. I just don't know about the short-term as much. Like, when does it start, It seems like they're in a good position to pick up a wild card this year, but I don't know. Probably like you suggested, the deadline will dictate that. Shane McClanahan, tough inning. Would you rather be able to speak to animals or be able to speak every language in the world? I think I'd speak every language in the world. I'm not really sure if speaking to animals would be like, because like, okay, imagine if I could speak to a dog, right? And I would speak to a dog and the dog would just be like, food, 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 play, 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 or it's like if they're like looking out the window barking at someone, go away, go away, go away, I'm not really sure how much I'd have to gain from that. But I mean, as someone who has spent a few years, studying German, learning German, I just would have, I'd be like, imagine in my world, right? Imagine if I could speak fluent Spanish and I was a baseball content creator. Do you know how many doors that would open up for me? Like, that's just, I feel like that's pretty easy. Or Japanese, If you could speak any language, you would be set in terms of job, money, too. Yeah. Any person who could speak any language would just, like, have a killer life, unless they were just, like, I don't know, just a complete wreck. But everyone can learn a human language. Being able to talk with animals would do something. That's true. But I just don't really know, like, if I could talk to animals, like, to what degree, to what insights I could gain from them if all they're saying is, like, food, 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 MLB ideal expansion cities. So I kind of think, like, Charlotte would be a good one. I know a lot of people advocate for Nashville, but I like Charlotte more, with Charlotte, like, their MLS team seems to be doing pretty good in terms of, like, getting people interested. And, you can pull fans not just from Charlotte, but from like the Research Triangle, which, contains a good amount of young people, a lot of students. So I think a Charlotte would be good. And then maybe back in Montreal or maybe out in Vegas. Charlotte is also the name of Paul Spore's wiener dog. So, I think that's a good tiebreaker. Not Vegas. Why not Vegas? But yeah, a lot of people say Nashville. I don't really feel it. And a lot of people say Portland. And I don't really feel it either. But maybe I'm wrong. I just said Charlotte MLS is like a decent indicator for them. But like Portland's MLS is like, they're kind of like the model organization. Okay, Sandy. Sandy's pitching. Thank you, Mr. Sandy. Let's see. I'm curious. Let's see some of these pitch velocities with Sandy. We're looking 98 right now on the fastball. McClanahan topped 98.6. Right. Who has the highest velos? Okay, here we go. Oh, Alcantara swinging strike 98.9. So he has taken the mantle. It will be interesting to see who throws the hardest pitch in this game, but Alcantara 98.9. .99 paint, yeah. Jeez. Alcantara's just awesome. It's like he is entering that realm that maybe DeGrom was in the first half of last year, where it's like appointment television when he's pitching. Prediction for highest exit velo of the night. I'm going to take, who's leading right now? Goldschmidt 109. I imagine that'll get beat. I'm going to go with, won't Helsley throw the hardest? Probably. I'm going to go highest exit velo. I'm going to say Jock. Jock gets a hold of one. We have 100. Let's see. 99.4. Trying to get there. So on the broadcast, it generally rounds. So it's like if you get a 99.5, it usually shows 100. Oh, here we go. Yeah, 99.7 sinker. Confirmed. That's not a true 100 if you were to go like search it after, but that's the number that shows on the broadcast. What's up, Bailey? I've got hummus. Austin, that's like my go-to. I swear, like my number one healthy snack is just like I go to Publix, I buy the dip. This is not a commercial. No, they have not paid me. I buy the dip chip carrots, and I buy the Ithaca brand hummus, whatever like the original flavor is, and I just eat that like all day. But there's 100. My thing about hummus is I don't really like flavors. I just like the original. I just want chickpeas. I don't want any other fancy schmancy stuff. There's too many flavors of hummus. Well, Diego Castillo is based. He is the Dominican big boss. Yeah, good inning from Sandy. Looking strong. I picked NL, and I hate to say it. I hate to call you guys out. A lot of you were picking AL. A lot of you did it. All right? I could go back and I could name some names. I could easily do it. Okay? I won't do it because I'm a bigger man. But a lot of you were saying AL. I'm going to say 75% of you were doing it. I hope you're having a moment of self-reflection, although it's very early. Favorite video you've made? My favorite video I've made is probably Rod Barajas, the catcher who can't throw. Probably that. Probably that. But I don't know for sure. Need some hummus with Jolly Olive. I mean, that would be just so appropriate, wouldn't it? Which starting pitcher do you think the Mariners will go after at the deadline? I don't know. Okay. I don't know why I read these questions if I don't have a good answer up my sleeve. I really have not thought too much about the deadline. I mean, there's a few guys that are like getting moved for sure. Like, surely Brandon Drury can help someone. Castillo could also be involved, but I don't know. Frankie Montas, maybe. If his injury doesn't throw too much of a wrench in it. Marcus Stroman, top 25 pitcher in baseball? I don't think so. I would probably put him about like maybe top 40, 50 maybe. Top 25. There's a lot of good pitchers. Think you'll ever go back to using music from video games? I just don't think so. Like, it's too much of a copyright scare, especially with a lot of the old Nintendo stuff. Like people have because Nintendo's so like weirdly protective of their IP. They've crushed some channels before. So I'm lucky that just none of the videos I did in the past have really been touched. No, I'm quite happy with the setup I have right now. Where will Soto end up? I mean, it's been asked a few times before. I kind of think St. Louis. Any opinion on the Freddie Freeman agent situation? Yeah, I do have some opinions. Well, first of all, Doug Gottlieb, not a trustworthy person in my opinion. You're seeing him. He's been sued for like slander or libel, whichever the written one is, and it's just like, yeah, I mean. If you tweet that out, don't be too surprised. But I think ultimately, if you're Freddie Freeman, it's like things may have happened that were a little bit shady, but at the end of the day, like you're a grown man, you make your decisions, you sign your contracts, you reject certain offers. If he's not happy with his representation, decides to fire his agent, like he's absolutely free to do that. But it's time. You know what? And I think maybe that's been the closure he needs. But it's time to move on. He's played incredible since firing his agent, by the way. He's been literally on fire. And it's not like he was doing bad before that. So just settle into LA because you signed a long contract and they're going to pay you a ton of money. Joe Mantiply, man, what a fun story that has been this year. I really hope he gets into this game because it's just been a lot of fun. That is one of the highlights of this for me is Joe Mantiply. Would love to see him on a contender for sure. You know who I don't want to see traded is David Bednar. I want to see him stick around in Pittsburgh. I really like that guy. I hope Pittsburgh holds on to him. But Mantiply, like, yes, get him out of there. Thoughts on the draft? I thought it was going to be Termarr Johnson, number one. That was really all the thing for me. I mean, obviously Kumar Rocker third was surprising, but I really thought Termarr Johnson would be number one. I felt like he kind of fit Baltimore, but and he's like my favorite player in the draft personally, but Drew to Arizona was not surprising at all. I think everyone kind of knew that. Otherwise, I mean, they went about how expected, right? Semi Cat, I keep you touched on this, but have you dabbled in gambling on baseball? No, I have not. I think even if I did, I wouldn't broadcast that just because I don't really work with gambling companies. Just because it's not really good content fit for me. Like, I just don't want to get involved with that. I think there's a lot of shadiness with gambling companies advertising to minors. And I get it, it's different for each company, but you look at some of the stuff going on Twitch right now, I just don't even want to get involved with like the sports equivalent. I'm not saying like DraftKings or whatever is like what's the other one? FanDuel. I'm not saying that they're shady, but I'm just saying that's just something I personally just don't want to get involved with because it's not really my world. I understand as an analytics person I can be kind of adjacent to that at times, but it's not for me. I don't have any problem with me gambling. I don't do it, but I don't really have any problem with me doing it. I'm an adult and I can make my own decisions. Will Gallo be starting somewhere next year? And if he is, where? I think he'll start for like a worse team. Like if you're just like a little bit fringier, like you can probably wait around on Gallo a little bit. I mean, it's tough, and maybe even try to extend him while his value isn't at the highest. That's by the way, a nice pitch by Manoah right there. Take. Milwaukee needs to sell a farm for Soto now if they want to contend. The hitting prospects haven't panned out, and it's now or never. Milwaukee's kind of a weird lineup this year because it is really just seems like a lineup of just like if everyone was like kind of average, and that's not necessarily a bad thing for them given how good their pitching is. If they sold their farm, they would be pretty. I mean, they'd be pretty barren. I mean, any team trading for Soto with a prospect package would be barren. But, I mean, they got interesting prospects for sure that could be included in a trade like that. Jackson Churio probably would be kind of the headliner on that. But it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they would trade like maybe a Ashby could be involved in that. I don't know if he's technically still a prospect or not, but Jace Peterson has the highest WAR for the Brewers this year. What a world we live in. On base Jace, by the way, Braves rebuild legend. So good for him still contributing. Gosman leads AL and F4, and he's not there. Any All-Star snubs in recent memory worse than that? I mean, Chipper Jones won MVP without being an All-Star one year, and actually that happens somewhat often. Thoughts on Stephen Kwan's first half from Luke Treese? I was just looking at his Fangraphs page earlier today. Overall, I mean, he's got a 110 WRC plus as a full-time player in Major League Baseball, and he was one of my breakout picks, and I'm quite happy with that. I understand that, he just was, totally on fire for, the first week of the season and has been basically average beyond that, but, I mean, a 110 WRC plus as a full-time outfielder in Major League Baseball, that's pretty, that's good, especially for Cleveland, historically how their outfield has been these last few years. I think I would call it somewhere between a success and a rousing success. Manoah's letting the broadcast call the pitches. See, I'm watching the broadcast, but I've got it muted, so I don't really see if there's banter going on. I'll be interested to see that. Who's your favorite reliever so far this season? Probably Ryan Helsley. I mean, he's just been locked in, and obviously Clay Holmes has been a lot of fun too. The Clay Holmes he's chasing Zach Britton for some of these ground ball rate type stuff stats, but I mean Helsley has just been a ton of fun as well. So I guess I'll go Helsley and Holmes if you want a representative from each league. Scott Efros fan, he's kind of nasty. I can't lie. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say I'm a fan. Can we get the Foolish Bailey top 5 starting pitchers like right now? I mean, okay, Burns, McClanahan, Cole, Burns, McClanahan. Okay, here's 5 good starting pitchers: Burns, McClanahan, Cole, Alcantara, and maybe Gosman. But no particular order. McClanahan is no longer top 5 after today. How dare you? It's not. It's an exhibition game. Thoughts on Nestor Cortez? It's been fun to watch. Nestor Cortez is not a top 5 pitcher. You guys need to just like look at your lives. Go look at yourself in the mirror right now. I mean, what are you talking about? Think of the 5 pitchers I just named. Manoa striking out the side. Yes, good point. Strike out on the 4-seam fastball, strike out on the 4-seam fastball. Wait, that was a sinker. I found out the other day that Lucas Apostolaris, I don't know how many of you know who that is, but he was on Nestor Cortez when he was in like A-ball, which is very impressive. That's a snipe, right? Oh, I just messed this up. Hold on. I didn't mean to do that. I think that's good. Having the pitcher mic'd up is awesome. Never seen that before. Yeah, they did it. It was really entertaining when they did it last year, Rob Scallon, because they had Liam Hendricks mic'd up, and like he couldn't hear them, but he was mic'd, and so he was just kind of doing his own like running commentary, with no interaction from them really, and it was really interesting to watch because as he was basically like closing out the game. He's a really interesting character too. I believe he may have also been swearing up a storm. I can't remember if that was another time. Have you heard of Felix Bautista? He's very interesting, has a crazy fastball on people. Yeah, he is really interesting. Yeah, and in terms of the fastball you're talking about, it's, I think, maybe number 1 in terms of like vertical movement. It just has so much rise to it. Finger quotes rise. Yeah, it's crazy. Tristan McKenzie, buy or sell, looks like a future top 10 guy someday. Yeah, I think he's not like... He's interesting. Like, I have him on a fantasy team this year, and he's been great, but the peripherals aren't always the best with him. I think it's possible that, like, he is, like, we initially thought he was going to be, like, a nasty strikeout guy, and then maybe he's more just, like, a pitchability guy than we thought, just the way he's been playing. Do you think Cade Cavalli can develop into a top 20 starter? I don't really think so. I don't really think he quite has that ceiling. I think he can be a good starter, but I don't think that's necessarily him. Any chance we'll see more OTP content, or is it more of off-season content? I think we could see it if I just have the time. I think the big thing I'd like to do with OTP is do what I did with the series where I did the 10-year resim, except I would do that going forward. So I would just sim the next 10 years. I think that would be interesting. Maybe that's something I could do over the off season. I could get like a save or something like that. Are you into sport cards? So I haven't really bought any this year. But I was buying singles off ComC in like 2020, 2021. I have a few hundred of them. I spent probably in total $1,000. No, maybe not that much. Maybe more like 600 or 700. but I'm not like following everything like crazy. Like it's not like I gotta hide that user on this channel. And then yeah, okay. So $5 super chat from April King. Thank you for hosting the party tonight and for, of course, for all the fun videos. Yes. Welcome to my party. Feel free to leave your shoes at the door, you know. Try not to break anything. I mean, 84% match, is that good? You know, 84%. I would hope for at least 90, personally. What have you been watching, Bailey? I finished Stranger Things season 4 about a week ago. I'm not a big show watcher lately. I feel like I just watch a lot of YouTube lately. I've been watching Virtual, the Trackmania player. That's probably the YouTube channel I've been watching the most lately. At least in terms of like overall watch time. Because he has 2 channels and I watch both of them. Pretty much anything that comes out. 84% is like an 840 on base percentage. I guess. What is the vibe you get from the 2022 Braves? I feel like it's pretty good vibes, honestly. Been watching a lot of Summoning Salt. Yeah, he's got a new video coming soon, I think. Literally playing Trackmania right now. Very nice. I have not played in a while. I was playing the campaigns back in like the fall and winter last year. Watch any Cologne? Yeah, I did. Didn't watch nearly as much as I would have liked to. And you know, it's like how should I put it? It was okay, first of all, like my favorite team is probably Astralis because my favorite players Blame F. But, like, they had been so awful, and it was good for them to just not be, like, the worst team ever. And so that was probably my biggest takeaway is that Astralis did not look like the worst team ever, you know? And so that I was at least happy about that. And also, I mean, but it really is just kind of like FaZe and Na'Vi are the 2 best teams, right? You know? It does seem to it seems to be them a lot in the final. And it seems like that's going to just keep happening. I mean, maybe G2 can get in there, but I don't think G2 can, like... I mean, like, every time Na'Vi faces G2, like, I feel like Na'Vi just beats the crap out of them. CS rank? So I haven't played in a couple years. I haven't played in a year and a half or so. At my best, I was, like, a LEM, I think. I'm a pretty good Counter-Strike player. Like, I won't front on that. I'm a very competent Counter-Strike player. And probably when the off-season starts, I will become a little bit of a Counter-Strike degenerate. Thank you for rightfully defending Shaman Clan. Thank you. Hey, that's what I'm here to do. Common success. Keep up the great content as always and enjoy the game. Thank you, Badman31. Very kind of you. Where's Judge going in the offseason? I think probably the Doosan Bears. Oh my gosh, another one. Wow. Do that. Do that. And do that. Joe Musgrove, by the way, has been... I mean, look, this is the hard-hitting analysis I know you all come to me for, but Joe Musgrove has been very good this year. He's been very good. Do you think Will Smith will ever make the All-Star team? If you're talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers catcher, absolutely he will. He's great. I missed the NIP lineup of Get Right Forrest, Freiburg, Zix, Flair. Yeah, it was definitely a different era for the game, like the 87-0 and all that. My favorite team was the team that kind of, it wasn't the Fnatic team that came around kind of throwing them, but it was like the Very Game / Titan team. They had Existence, who was my favorite player at the time. They had Kenny. They had Scream. They had NBK. They had Shocks. And then they had like RPK. They had Apex, like that sort of lineup. That I really enjoy that team. I love the Virtus Plow later on. That was the team I was rooting for. And then obviously whoever was good in NA, I was rooting for. Kukli Vakban? No. Who's your favorite player and why? Assume Richard Staffbanger tweet. Let's see it. Let's see it, Richard. And also, can I show it on a stream? I don't see any Richard Staffbanger tweets. He hadn't tweeted in 23 hours. Is it a reply? Snacks, favorite player of all time. Yeah, Snacks, I mean, he might be number one for me. So fun to watch. Love Snacks. I also enjoy Snacks in terms of eating food during the day. Total hours on CS, I think I'm about 2,000 hours. Clean capitalist. COVID screwed up pro CSGO so much. Yeah, and Valorant too, I guess. Valorant really screwed it up, the talent pool in NA. In EU, it's fine. What's your opinion on Pasha Biceps? Biceps is with you always. I feel like this has really turned into CSGO chat. Let's talk a little bit of baseball. Will Braves extend Harris or do they wait? I think they'll wait. I mean, I would do it. Maybe I wouldn't. I would wait. I'm going to say I would wait because his chase rate is so high. I'm not sure if I believe in the offense that much. At least not in the short term. But the defense is legit. Who would be the best esports player in MLB? I mean, Giolito is a big Rocket League guy, and I would consider Rocket League to be an esport. Robert Stock is not in MLB, but I know he's a League of Legends guy. So I think there's a couple guys you could look to. Robert's in KBO, I believe, with the Doosan Bears. If you start an OTP series again, please do the Tigers. You should check out Brandon Hinkle. You should check out Paul Sporer's OTP series because he's been doing a lot with the Tigers. And I know he streams it on Twitch, but I think he's got a lot of it on his YouTube as well. Is it Trevor May, a big esports guy? Yeah, I don't really know. What does Trevor play though? Is he like a COD? Is he like a COD guy? Like the Warzone? Is that what he does mainly? Fortnite? I feel like he does a lot of Battle Royale, but maybe I'm wrong. Battle Royale, the Royale, I feel like the esports scenes are kind of you know. I mean, they're fun games, but I feel like the esports scenes are kind of He plays unironically. Any thoughts on Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green struggling so far? Zachary, so Justin Choi of Fangraphs wrote a really interesting article about Hunter Green's fastball and compared it to Spencer Strider's fastball because they have a lot of the same qualities as far as, say, velocity and what makes one effective and one not so effective. So that was a really interesting one. Nick Lodolo, actually, I feel pretty good about. I think the injury kind of, it's kind of screwed him up. But, I mean, I thought he was looking really good at the beginning of the season. And overall, I would say I feel pretty good about him. Trevor May is the modern day Joel Zumaya. That's a great drop. Water is wet. Shredding his arm, getting them Fortnite victory royales. I know the Zumaya thing probably wasn't Guitar Hero, but if it was, I totally get it because I got really into Clone Hero a couple years ago, and it's if you play that for a while, you do feel like you need a Tommy John. Ludi Colo. For live streams, you have backup Wi-Fi. No, I mean, what's funny, Ari, is it was storming today, and my power flashed, and I lost power for a little bit. So, I mean, if that happens, that's probably the end of the stream. Thankfully, work-wise, I wasn't really in the middle of too much where I didn't really lose anything. Because I am working on a little series called Baseball Bits. I'm not sure if you all have seen it, but I'm working on a little video. It's called Baseball Bits. and it'll be out this month, and I hope you enjoy it. Thoughts on Grant Ashcraft? Here's some interesting Grant Ashcraft stuff for you. Soto at the plate, by the way, versus Fromber. Your home run derby champion. Okay, so should I do this? I don't think I'm gonna do this. Basically, Grant Ashcraft, like for like I think a starter, throws like the hardest cutter, and I guess his cutter is, yeah, it's like just the velocity is crazy. I know Nick Pollock from Pitcher List is really kind of fond of him. I think he's interesting. I definitely think he's interesting. Should get a UPS so you don't lose work. Yeah, I mean, I think I do. I think I do have that. Think Pronax is the Jeff Mathis of CS. No, I think the Jeff Mathis of CS is like, what was that guy's name? Valens. Because man, Valens was just like, I love that guy. He was like the least skilled professional player I've ever seen. Like that was like the one professional player I was like, I think I'm probably like nastier than that guy, you know, and just in terms of like aim or whatever. But he is like a savant, and I mean he was like, he's, you know, in teams that have been successful historically, like he's been a big part of that. Valens, the coach, yeah, Valens played on this team called Nyalum. That was actually quite entertaining. They were there was a time where they were kind of pushing to be like the 1B to Cloud9's 1A. They had Hiko. They had this guy, Professor Chaos, who had like crazy high sensitivity. They were an interesting lineup. But Valens played for them. Davey, I think, also played. No, did Davey play for them? I can't remember. Maybe Daps or Zeus. Yeah, I feel like the guy who said Zeus, I feel like that might be correct. Man, the whole Zeus arc where he left and won the major with a Gambit is like one of the most incredible things that happened in Counter-Strike. Soto coming back from 0-2? Wait, never mind. Yeah, I mean, full count. But Kerrigan's like too good though. Like Kerrigan's still like too good of a player. Push the BCS stream soon? You never know. You never know. So this is a CS streamer MLB. Well, it depends what you guys keep asking me. That's funny. Is it a yeah, they did I believe they did have automatic. I should have probably said that. It was a long time ago. Do you recommend playing the percentages in baseball? I haven't read that one, so I don't think I can recommend it. A lot of people are saying, Common, Juan Soto, ground out. A lot of people are saying it. I'm not saying it, but a lot of people are saying it. I looked at his numbers the other day. Juan Soto has a 161 OPS plus. I looked at the numbers yesterday. I was like, oh, so he's fine. Yeah. Oh, man. And you know he's going to do better in the second half. You just know it because you saw him do it last year. Yeah, it's crazy. He's nuts. He's nuts. I love that guy. Oh, man. Next year, O's going to have more than one All-Star. That would be interesting. I could definitely see it. Foolish BB Major watch party? Hey, you never know. You never know. I want them to put me ESL. Come on now. ESL, let me get in the stewed. You think Alavila should be fired? Yeah, probably. It's probably, I mean, and look, I try not to talk about people that way because it's like, I wouldn't want someone to talk about my job that way, but it's probably time. And I don't know if fired is too harsh of a words, but they could probably part ways, They could probably do that. Alavila could probably look for maybe a different position on a different team. Hello, Bailey. Hello, Jason. Faith in Christian Pache? I mean, I had so much, right? I loved the guy as a prospect. Every year with the Braves, I was like, this is awesome. We're going to have a guy who's like an 80 center fielder, and he just has to hit a little bit, and he's going to be cool. And then he's just not a major league hitter, you know? I guess, do I have faith in Christian Pache? I guess not that much really anymore. And maybe him getting traded is what it took to see it, but yeah, I mean, it's like, what's the best case scenario here now? Like Juan Lagares or something like that? Is that what we have to hope for now, you know? Who do you like from the draft? I really like Termarr Johnson. He was like my favorite player in the draft. I also really like, I don't even know how to say his last name, but I really like Cooper Hjerp, whatever, the guy the Cardinals drafted. Foolish basically say, is that an I or an L? I'm going to say it's I. I. Yerpy. Okay, thank you. But I like that guy too. Because he's such a good college performer. What's the official stance of Foolish Baseball on PB&J sandwiches? It's a great, like, from ages 4 to probably 14, I think I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day of my life. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Because I would always get it packed in my lunch. And then I guess on days when I was like home, like on weekends, I feel like I still always like wanted one. There's a really good article written a few years ago about NBA players and their relationship with PB&J sandwiches. I believe it's on ESPN. I can't remember who wrote it. But now I would have to say I really like a peanut butter banana sandwich instead. I think that's just a little bit better. I was just staying at a house, I was on vacation with my family for a little bit, and I had I think a peanut butter and banana sandwich every day, and I was like, yep, it's just a great lunch after you've been, swimming in the pool. Elvis special, I've heard that before. I heard he really liked those. No, it was Elvis peanut butter and pickle. Is that what he liked? I don't want pickle. That doesn't sound good to me. Strawberry jelly clears grape. I think that's true. Baxter Holmes wrote it back in 2017. Yeah, look that up. It was a really good article. Do you feel betrayed by Freddie Freeman? Not really. I'm fine. They won the World Series. They passed off the Commissioner's Trophy to Freddie Freeman. And I was like, well, this is it, right? Like, this is what you become a baseball fan for, is to see that. Oh, one of my favorite players. One of my absolute favorite players. There he is. What team will lose the most games this year? Did someone say raspberry? Raspberry jelly. I don't think I've ever had that. Or jam. How to fix Angels offense? The fix is already on the way, Nicholas. He's been playing rehab games in AAA. His name is David Fletcher, and he is here to save the Los Angeles Angels and to do what Trout and Ohtani couldn't and turn them into winners. And that's just a fact. I love Jose Ramirez so much. I love Jose Ramirez. He really is. He's like my favorite player. No, because he's just built different. There's really no other way of putting it. He's just different. Fix on the way train for Juan Soto. April, I hate to say it, but I feel like that wouldn't fix it. That would not fix the fundamental problem. He's crushing foul balls at the moment. Lonnie Chisenhall or Raul Ibanez? I'm going to go Raul Ibanez. Raul Ibanez had great offensive numbers for his career, and he does take pride in his defense. I love how he's built. Like, yes, that's what's great. He's built. Yeah, he has a body. Yeah, I mean, he's just incredible. He is just incredible. Oh, Jose Ramirez. Common success. More and more people are saying it. More and more people are saying it. Juan Soto playing center? Yeah. That's his ticket out of there. Some team's going to trade for him as their center fielder. Do you think Shohei is so good at baseball because he watches anime? Esports have known this performance enhancer for years. True, but which player will tap into the dark arts? Does Shohei watch anime? Have we confirmed? I understand that he's Japanese, but I don't know if has he had an interview where he was like, yes, this is my favorite anime to watch. Does he watch the baseball anime? Like the whatever, No Ace Diamond? I don't know what anything's called. I don't really watch much anime. But, yeah, should he watch baseball anime or should he watch just like non-baseball anime? What's your favorite mythical story about an old player like the ones from Ken Burns' Baseball? I think like maybe Germany, Schaefer stealing first base. I believe I have that right. That's like a very funny one to be. And it's one of those where it's like, well, I don't know for sure if it happened, but it's like, it's definitely an entertaining story. I mean, I imagine, oh, sure. I mean, I get that. But I don't know if he's on, does he have a Crunchyroll subscription is my question. I wonder if Bailey's an Anthony Bass or Tim Salmon kind of guy. I'm more of a Mike Carp man myself. Should Pete Rose get his credibility back? I don't really think so. No, I don't. I'm okay if he never makes the Hall of Fame. I kind of think Pete Rose ruined Mario Soto's career as a manager. And not to mention some other unsavory off-the-field stuff. So, no, I don't feel that way. A Stantonian blast. Ooh-wee. I mean, like a real one. I mean, not even the fake Stantonian blast. Let's see how far it went. Give it to me. I want to know. What are we thinking? Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I want you to put it right now. What's the exit velo? What's the distance? Right now, put it in. Don't cheat. Don't call him Baseball Savant. Don't cheat. Don't look at your broadcast. What? Give me the exit velo. Give me the distance. All right. I'm gonna give it 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We've got 111.7, 457. I'm seeing some pretty good ones on here. Most of y'all are pretty close. Good job. I would say overall, good job. Yeah, I kind of like the Stantonian blast thing, but I kind of think that should be reserved for actually like things that look like home runs but aren't, rather than just like a crushed baseball. 25 degrees on the launch angle. It's a classic launch angle. Gonsolin is a RA9 phony. I really like Gonsolin. I mean, he's playing a little over his head, but I still like him. Ooh, okay, give it to me. Okay, now, we can play the game again. All right, Byron Buxton, give me the. I want exit velo. I want distance. Okay, I'll give y'all about 20 seconds. Exit velo, distance. Okay, 108.425, 108.425, 102.425, a lot of 425. They showed it. Okay, yeah. Well, if you didn't see it, I hate it when they show it. 107.7. American League is winning now. All is right in the world. Still a lot of games to be played. But yeah, I really hope the NL wins. I don't know why I feel so strongly that I'd like the NL to win. NL fans in shambles. Yeah. NL fans are in shambles right now. I'm always saying that, Charlie. I'm always saying that. I think we should just keep us in the dark. I think stats are ruining the game, quite frankly. Oh, now there's still a lot of game to play, Kobe. I said it before when the NL were winning. I'm sure you can rewind the stream, young man. Do you have the game up on another monitor? You actually watch? Yeah, I actually do have the game up on another monitor. But obviously I can't show that. But yes, I do. Has Carlos Santana walked yet? Well, I mean, there's a Twitter account out there that will let me know. Trust me. We're not going to miss that. 1,000 XBA on Stanton's home run. So that, I mean, basically, that's out everywhere in every possible scenario. Gonsolin washed. Gonsolin crumbling. Ooh, some slander. Classic Timmy hit. That is truly a classic. That is truly a classic Tim Anderson batted ball. Base hit single. I think at this point we're definitely rooting for the tie, right? We want to see the home run derby again. We want to see Ty France in the home run derby. That's what we want to see. I think that's where I'm at. We want a tie. We want the home run derby. I don't care how we get there, but I want it. Actually, it's libel, not slander, since it's written Bailey. How far behind are you? You need to go live on my stream. I feel like I said that an hour ago. That's funny. But thank you. I can never remember which one is the written one. Ty France, known home run hitter. Yes, tie for Ty. Yes, exactly. Each team has 3, and by the way, the NL team looks better in the home run derby, but you never know. I did not watch episode 1 of The Captain, although will I get around to watching it? Probably. Let's be honest. I don't know him, but a lot of people have a lot of really good things to say about the director. Randy, what's his last name? Can't remember. But yes, so I will definitely check it out. Ty France or Ty Germany? I think I'm going to go with Ty Austria-Hungary. I think that's my pick. What's the best CS map? I really like Train. I like Train. I'm going to go with Train. Bailey's an Atlanta fan. This is true. I am. Ooh, Alejandro Kirk, one of my absolute favorite players. Thai Djibouti. Thai. We're having fun. We're having fun in the chat. We're having a good time. Thai Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Thai Teutonic Order. Thai Zaire. Thai Ottoman Empire. Thai we got it going. Thailand. That's so obvious. I don't know how we didn't get there first. Thai Chad, of course. The Chad Thai France. Is Bailey on the Olsen train or the Freeman Remembrance boat? I think I'm on the Olsen train. I really like. I loved Olsen before he even got traded. I'm ready to embrace the present. So yes, I'm gonna say I'm a Matt Olsen fan. Wow, this chat is just going crazy right now. Everyone's having a very good time. Thai Rhodesia, Thai Tasmania, Thai Crimea, Thai Holy Roman Empire, Thai Faroe Islands. Thai Lesotho. Thai goes to the runner. So if there's a tie, France is hitting in the home run derby. Yes, so Bruce Bochy will coach that aspect. Timely after the country sporkle. Yeah, I think I got, what did I do on that? 125, something like that? Something like that. Probably about average. Ty Alderaan. Very nice. Thai Mesopotamia. Thai Revolutionary War. Tyler Glasnow. Favorite non-sports video game? I'm going to go with Half-Life 1. Unless you consider Half-Life 1 to be a sport. If, the bunny hopping seems athletic. It seems athletic to me. Alejandro Kirk is a golden god. Yeah, he truly is. Oh, here comes Trey Turner, my pick for by the way, my pick for MVP. Not of the regular season, of this game. Bailey, why are you teleporting? Am I teleporting? I don't mean to teleport. I feel like I was about to answer a question, but I lost it. Where is it? Who's winning tonight? Asks Major League Productions. Okay, I'm picking the NL in the home run tiebreaker. That's my pick. NL home run tiebreaker. No Ty France. Well, he will be in the tiebreaker. Oh, all right. Ty Franchi Cordero. I'm not sure if that's correct. I'm not sure. I think we've got a bit of stretch. Favorite Greek philosopher? I'm going to go with on Final Jeopardy a few months ago, there was a question about Greek philosophers, and the answer was Diogenes, and I got it right, and no one else in my family did, so I'm going to go with him. Let's see what Trey Turner can do, whose name literally means Lazy Susan. Caligula or Diogenes? They're not. One of them is a Roman Empire. The other one's a Greek philosopher. So, yeah. Ty Wigginton. Ooh, good pick. How's it going, Foolish? I'd say overall, Aiden, it's going pretty good. How does this stream build your like? That's what I asked myself. That's a great question, Different Gravy. What am I doing to build my legacy today? I don't know. I really don't know. Apples or oranges? I'm gonna go with. Oh, I mean they're both good, aren't they? I'm gonna go apples because I prefer clementines to oranges. I guess they're definitely in the family. I don't know what differentiates them other than size, but a clementine, it's like a nice travel orange. Got any pets, Bailey? I do not. I've been thinking about getting a cat for a while, but I do not have any pets. If I got a pet, it would definitely be a cat. Are you as sad as me that the Bodega Boys broke up? So I wasn't super into that, but I mean, I understand it's a day of mourning for the podcasting community. So, I hear you. I feel your pain. But it wasn't really my thing. Favorite beverage? Ooh. I mean, as a Southerner, I really like a sweet tea. That's probably my weakness as far as like my sweet tooth. I don't eat a lot of like candy or chocolate or sweet things, but I do like a nice sweet tea. Delicious, especially on a hot summer day. Pop soda or soda pop? I'm going to say soda. Apples or pineapples? Definitely apples. Definitely apples. Yeah. Favorite experience in Germany? Oktoberfest. I understand it's kind of a cliche touristy thing. So as far as like something that I would actually experience in like day-to-day life, oh no, not my beautiful boy. Something bad has happened to my beautiful boy. But anyways, I miss the thing I miss the most, honestly, is just riding the train. I really enjoyed just riding the train. I enjoyed public transport. It's just so clean, so timely. That's sort of like in terms of like a mundane day-to-day life experience of living in Germany or Europe. That's what I miss. Just taking the train, walking places to go run errands. I miss that. What is the capital of Belgium? Brussels. Juan Soto or Dwight D. Eisenhower? As a Cubs fan, it's going to be tough to lose Contreras. Well, that's true. It will be, Rob. However, the Cubs have interesting players. It's not. There have been rebuilding teams who are just like, I think, completely unwatchable roster-wise, and I don't think the Cubs are that because they do have Nico Horner, who's having a good season. They have Chris Morel, who's been really fun to watch this season. So they have guys, So it's not like, I mean, even Patrick Wisdom is, I think Patrick Wisdom's fun. Why did they put Albert against a righty? Common mistake. Johnny Peralta or Marco Scudero? Ooh, that's tough. That is really tough. I'm going to go, it's probably not the right answer. I'm going to go Marco Scudero, just because I think the name's better. Name the unwatchables. Definitely some of these Orioles teams. Not this year. But, geez, some of the Orioles teams. Ugh, gross. The Astros teams. The rebuild Astros teams, unwatchable. What is your favorite U.S. city/town outside of Atlanta? Outside of Atlanta. So I really like New York City. It is just very different from anywhere else. I'm not super well traveled when in the United States. As far as town cities like in the Southeast, where I grew up, I really like Chattanooga, Tennessee. I think it's a good place to live. Alabama has some good places too. Like I like Birmingham, I like Huntsville, but I would go like New York City just overall, and then I really like. But I mean, as far as like closer to my neck of the woods, I really like Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's a nice place. Give us a food related hot take. So I already gave one, which is that I'd hate um flavored hummus. And I just want the regular hummus, and they need to stop making the flavored hummus. Another food related hot take. I think pineapple on pizza is fine. I don't know why that turned into like a meme or whatever. I think it's pretty good, to be honest with you. A nice Hawaiian slice. If you could put an expansion team in any city, which city would you choose? I think I would choose Charlotte. What happened to your Southern accent? So, a few things. I think, well, first of all, I think like a lot of television and like internet usage can kind of screw with kids' accents if they're hearing a lot of English that isn't like from their specific neck of the woods. There's videos of myself I have when I was in high school, and to me, I go back and watch those now, and I think, gosh, I sound like a total hick. Like I definitely had like a pretty strong Southern accent, at least from my perspective, when I was 17, and maybe going off to college and then going to Germany after that really kind of did away with that. So maybe those years in particular. But yeah, some kids have a British accent from Peppa Pig. Yeah, that's a good point. Right. Yeah, that's a good example. But I definitely had I had a Southern accent. But I think it's mostly gone. It may still come up in certain words. The thing is, where I went to college, I went to Furman University, which is in Greenville, South Carolina. So I did still go to college in the South. I was in Germany for a year. This was after college. I actually started the Foolish Baseball channel in Germany. How did you meet William Cage? I think I was just Googling. I think I was just, I was looking at band camps. I was just looking for good replacement type music, and his name came up, and I was really into his like library of the Half Font series and all that. And so I reached out to him via email. He's a very nice guy, and we worked it out. The Paladins. Yes, by the way, no, they had a baseball team when I was there, but they no longer have one. Paul Blackburn, common success. Everett Galden O'Net, very good, very good. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That might be the only gambling I do. Paul Blackburn, common success. Let's get back to this one. I want to look at this one. I've really enjoyed Paul Blackburn this year. Not that. What was I gonna say? My buddy, was it Sungmin Kim who asked me that? Sungmin Kim, I was doing a Twitter Q&A. I have heard of Will Wilson, Giants prospect. That's who I mostly know him as the guy that the Giants essentially bought by taking on Zach Cozart's contract. They basically bought Will Wilson by doing that. Anyways, my buddy Sungmin Kim, I was doing I was doing Twitter Q&A, which is something I do about once every month or so, and I was like, and he was like, give me a player-based meal, right? Like, so you have like, there's like that's like a thing now, like Jack Harlow or Travis Scott, or will have their own like fast food meal, and so he wanted that, but for a player. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do the Paul Black Bean Burger. I think that would be really good. Anyways, Madeline Koff, have you ever been to Denmark? Hi from Denmark, by the way. Yes, I have been to I went there. It was literally like basically a day trip. Because because I lived in Hamburg, Germany, so I was close to Denmark, relatively speaking. And so I took a day trip up to Aarhus to see the band Always / Always in concert. And so I spent maybe 12 hours in Denmark total. But yes, I have technically been. I've never been to Copenhagen, but I have been to Denmark. Have you been to Amsterdam? No, I haven't. Isn't that weird? Because I was close to it when I lived in Germany, but I never actually went. I should have. Most of my traveling was east, not west. What are some of your top baseball names? Love the OG question. Yeah, I mean, top baseball names. I mean, so my favorite baseball name all time is probably Urban Shocker. I mean, I find it I don't know why I love it so much, but the name Urban Shocker, and also he was like a really good player too. There's just something about it. It just sounds like it could be the title for like a 1930s horror movie or something, or like something you would read in a newspaper about like a serial killer or something. It'd be like the Urban Shocker, or something like that. Like, that's incredible. I'm from Hamburg. Why'd you leave? Oh, man. Well, I mean, it was an exchange program. I was there for a year. My year ran up, and I went home. That's basically how I went. I was never supposed to be there for more than a year. The only way I could have stayed is if I got some sort of work visa by getting a job in Germany, and I decided at the end of that year I didn't really want to live in Germany because I mostly out of homesickness. I would miss my family. So that's really why. Is Big Papi doing a Rob Lowe cosplay? So I'm not looking at the TV right now, but does he have an MLB hat on right now? Because if so, I mean, I can totally do that. Billy, whatever happened to Tristan? So Michael, great question. Tristan, I believe in the canon, was fired at the end of the Willie Mays episode of Baseball Bits. You might have to go look that up yourself. I believe at the end of that, I believe you have the end of that arc. It's very important for me to have lore with Baseball Bits. We want an extended universe. We want all that stuff. We want things that are canon. There needs to, and so that's a big part of it. Are Germans the Europeans most into baseball? I don't think they're the most into it. I mean, I think the best European league is probably the one in the Netherlands, which is called like something hilarious, like Honkball Hoofdklasse. But Germany's close. They're close. Germany, they have in Regensburg, which I believe is in Bavaria, they have a really strong baseball program. I believe that's where Max Kepler came through. And so that is like that's one of the most important baseball scenes in Germany, I would say. Luis Castillo, what team? Hey guys, I'm gonna flip it over on you. What team is Luis Castillo getting traded? And if so, what team's he going to? And you know what? Give me the mock trade even. If you can think of who Luis Castillo is getting traded for by what team, just throw it out there. Just throw it out there. I'm glad to see Kyle Tucker in this game too, by the way, because he was getting absolutely just like the two most unlucky players the first month or so of the season are both in the All-Star game. But it's Julio Rodriguez and it's Kyle Tucker, because Kyle Tucker, his expected stats and just all his just peripheral type stats just looked so good, and it wasn't happening for him. Just really crappy luck. And then Julio, it was the ball strike calls he was getting, which was insane for that first month or so of the season. It was preposterous, really. So I'm glad to see both those guys having really strong seasons because they deserve it. Luis Castillo to Yankees for Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar so far is probably the best answer we're looking at. Blue Jays, please. I can't watch another Kikuchi start. Man, I love Kikuchi. Man, I hate it for him. I want him to be good so bad, and it just doesn't happen. Poor guy. Kyle Tucker, rare L. Yeah, I mean that. I mean, where was that pitch? I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. It looked like. We've seen a couple Dodger trades here and some big name Dodger prospects. Bobby Miller, Andy Paget. I think that's how you say his name. Miguel Vargas. Castillo not going to Braves or Mets after that. Soto will become a Pirate, Bailey. We all know this, right? Yeah. And then he can finally learn how to hit from Oneil Cruz, you know? Oneil Cruz will give him some pointers. Do you think Soroka ever returns to 2019 form, or does he become still playable but average? I think I have decent hopes for him. I still feel pretty good about him. But it's just been so long since we've seen him pitch. J-Rave, I noticed you wear your Atlanta United FC jersey a lot. Is there any chance we might get some MLS content at some point? Not for me, I don't think. But I do go to a fair amount of Atlanta United matches. In fact, I guess at this point I go to more of those than I go to the Cobb County Braves because I live in the perimeter, inside the perimeter of Atlanta. And so it's much more... Atlanta United and the Mercedes-Benz is much more accessible to me transportation-wise than the Cobb County Braves, unfortunately. Although I think I will be at least one of the games this weekend because I was really hoping to. Well, I mean, I'm gonna go see Ohtani. I don't know if I'm gonna go when Ohtani pitches or if Ohtani will pitch. But I wanted to see Ohtani, and I really wanted to see Mike Trout too, but now he's on the IL, so I'm really bummed about that. But I was really excited. I was like, oh, this is great. The Angels are coming to town. Trout, Ohtani, this is my chance. And I'm going to miss Trout, but I should still see Ohtani. Could Madrigal ever reach the level of Arise? I just don't think so. Like, I think their profiles are just a little bit different. The guy that would probably be like Steven Kwan, honestly. As far as like those guys goes. Who do you think is the Trevor Story of this trade deadline? So, i.e. the player that people think will get moved, but then won't, and then their contract will just run out. Interesting. I mean, well, first of all, I don't know. It's not a good 1-1 comparison because he still has years left, but like I still kind of think Soto won't get traded despite all the rumors. So maybe I'll go with him. But it's not a 1-1 comparison to Story because it's not like because Soto still has time on his contract. Next player to hit for the Triple Crown. That's a good question. I'm going to say the next player to hit for the Triple Crown. I'm going to say Soto. If not him, I'm going to say Vladdy Jr. There's some really good players out there, but I'm not sure if... Wander could definitely do it as well. There's some really good players out there who like don't have the batting average upside. Like I'm not sure if Julio does or Acuna does, or some of those guys. But yeah, like Wander, I could see it. I mean, Wander leading home runs though, I'm not sure if I could see that. So I'm gonna say, yeah. Okay, final answer. I'm gonna say Vladdy. Jordan could do it. Jordan could do it. Just the way he's cut his strikeouts this year. Hi, Foolish, you sexy ladied. Thank you. Warner can't lead in homers. Come on. I mean, that. Well, are you saying you agree or you disagree? It would surprise me. Vladdy already almost did it. Yeah, that's the thing. Third in AL MVP is the Jose Ramirez placement. Shouldn't that be the Marcus Semien? I mean, it's not gonna be that way this year. Celebrity crush. Charlie XCX is my celebrity crush. Although I will say her new music, it's not that great for me. But she's a celebrity crush. Fly needs to get his launch angle up. Yeah, Taylor's all this time. She's literally British. I know. That's by far the worst thing going on about her, right? Because I really just, not super into British people, but what can you do? The heart wants what the heart wants. Do you think Cody Bellinger could become at least an average MLB player again? I think he kind of is that right now. Because isn't he right now what's he at? Is he a 90 OPS plus good defensive center fielder? That's pretty close to average, I'm not sure what his numbers are, but if he is that, then I guess the answer is yes. What's your favorite under the radar pick from this year's draft? I'm not really much of a draft-nick, Pedro. I don't really usually have the guys that's oh, yep, this guy was on my board really high, and he's definitely a sleeper. So I guess the closest would be the fella that the Cardinals drafted. But I mean, also didn't that guy win the best college pitcher of the year or something like that? So Cooper. Someone already told me how to pronounce it already. Yerpy. But yeah. Bellinger's OPS plus is 78. So he could get to 90. He could do it. And then if he's a 90, 95 OPS plus with some decent enough defensive metrics in center field, that's pretty much what an average player is. How I'm feeling now, best Charlie album. Correct. Happy with Tyler Stevenson so far, minus the injuries? I think so. He's been overperforming his batted ball stuff, so I think there could be some regression coming. But it's hard to argue with the surface stats. They're good, So I guess overall, yes. But the injury was a bummer. That was a bummer. Raul needs the ABs. He's slumping. It's true. He really was slumping the last month of the season coming into this. And he's still, he's exactly a year removed from torn ACL now. So some degree of patience will be required. What kind of pitcher will Martin Perez be in the second half? It's and then and then you also, but at the same time, but then if you, that's what I think. Why are we shifting in the All-Star game? I know, a bunch of tryhards. I watched your Wardle video. Very impressed with your abilities. Thank you. By the way, Wardle, which now is called MLB Pickle, is currently available as an app as on the MLB Play app. So you can play it on an app on your phone. And shout-outs to Jeremy Frank and shout-outs to Zachary Ellis for giving us Wardle, which is now, once again, called MLB Pickle. They have a deal with MLB, and it's on the MLB Play app. Download today. They have paid me no money. This is not a commercial. I'm just saying. I got the MLB pickle in 3. Nicely done. Nicely done. Juan Soto, what do you guys think? Good player? Bad player? Just let me know. Good play. I think he's good. I'm going to lean good. Now that he won a home run derby, I can finally take him seriously. Is that Bailby? That is exactly who that is. Decent. Bad. Mid. He's okay. I think he's kind of okay. He's aight. Good. Wow. Says he's good. One home run derby has to be good. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Now that he won the home run derby, I think we can all admit he's a good player. Common Juan Soto ground out. Okay, is it still Sandy at the top of the velo? Yep, Sandy so far top of the velo, 99.7, and he's got at least the 5 hardest thrown pitches. Who's your furthest hit balls? Exit velocity, that's Stanton. Swings and misses, Manoah and Gonsolin. But honestly, I mean, Gonsolin just threw a bunch of pitches in general because it really wasn't going his way. Have you seen The Boys? I think it is good, but a bit overrated. Haven't seen it. Have not seen it. Do you think Soto will be traded by the deadline? No, I don't think so. I'm gonna come out and say it. I just don't think so. Would I be surprised if he was traded at the deadline? Not really, just because that has been like all the news these past few days. But overall, when push comes to shove, I just don't think so. Is Stanton a Hall of Famer? I think he has a really good chance to like have Hall of Fame numbers, whether that's 500 home runs, whether that's, if he's like a 500 home runs, like 60 WAR guy, which, seems very possible, then it'd be hard to keep him out, See Alcantara filling the Verlander mold for his career? No, I think Alcantara is kind of his own thing. Like Verlander, so much of it was about like the 4-seam fastball, and Alcantara's like, a sinker baller, and so I think they're different. I see what you're saying as far as like throw a lot of innings, throw hard late in games, pitch deep into games, but I really think Alcantara is kind of his own thing. Favorite baseball movie of all time? I'm going to go with A League of Their Own. Titanic, Sky 1, 2, 3. Odds on Votto making Hall of Fame, they're good. Like, I would say right now, if he retired today, 90%, 100%, I pretty much just think he's a Hall of Famer. What's your favorite baseball movie, and why is it Moneyball? Well, look, I'll let you in on a little something. You might be seeing some Moneyball content from me soon. There's a little ASMR for you. What is the cleanest MLB jersey of all time? I'm going to go, I really like 80s Expos. 80s Expos is really good, and then like 70s Pirates. Those are like my 2 favorites. You think home run derby would be better if players faced a pitching machine set to 65-70, or do you think it's good as it is now? I think it's good as it is now because it's more of a simulation of their batting practice. So I'm going to say it's fine how it is now. Earl Weaver Moneyball video is elite. Yeah, and again, it's not one of my, I don't know why I say again as if I just said it previously, but it's not one of my more viewed videos, more popular videos, but it is one I'm definitely proud of. Yeah, the pillbox hat really sets that one apart. Is Gallo fixable? Definitely fixable. Will he be fixed? I don't know. Thoughts on the City Connect jerseys? Some are good and some are bad. 80s Astros jerseys, and they're real fresh. Yeah, I have a and I guess maybe it's not 80s, it's more like 70s maybe. I don't know, but the Tequila Sunrise, definitely a good look. Future Ranger Joey Gallo. Many people are saying it. Well, we're through 5 here. I've really done a lot covering this game. Just a heads up. The score is 3-2. The score is 3-2. The AL All-Stars have a 373 expected batting average. Giancarlo Stanton has the highest WPA added because he hit a 2-run home run. Does Ty France crack your foolish 50 next year? I think if I made the list right now, I don't think he'd be on it, but he would be like a guy I would look at. So we'll just have to see how the second half goes. I'm going to go with the A's guys over the Cubs guys. Because they kind of held it together for longer. Does Julio make the foolish 50? I mean, at this point, absolutely. Yeah, he does. Favorite prospect in the minors? I really like Curtis Mead on the Rays. Defensively, no clue what's going to happen there, but he can rake. I also really like Joe. Well, we got ourselves a Mantiply moment. I also really like Edgar Caro. I was just talking about him. You know, as far as guys that I've covered in my Statline scouting series, like he may become the shining example of like what that series can do, because he was just like a nobody, and now he's really turning into somebody in A-ball for those Angels. I also really like Kobe Mayo, as Pedro just said in the chat. This hasn't been the most amazing year for him, but I do still really like him. Do players on the Foolish 50 have to be able to play in all 30 stadiums? They don't have to, but I guess it helps. I guess we've learned so far this year that it is a strength. Man. How good are you at Tetris? Not good. Who has your favorite pitch in baseball? I'm going to say my favorite pitch in baseball is... That's a good question. I'm just going to say it's Corbin Burns' cutter. How much thought should we put into Torkelson being sent down? I don't know. That's a good question. I really have not put much thought into it. Question here from Ryan C. Favorite way to learn about historical players? I really think the Sabre bios are really good. If you go to Sabre's website, I believe it's just sabr.org. Or maybe it's a .com, I don't know. But they have bios for a lot of great historical players. Obviously, you can go on Baseball Reference and look at their stats, but if you really want to have like context for their career or like some interesting anecdotes about who they are, like definitely the Sabre bios. I've done a lot of reading those in terms of just for information when I'm working on a historical baseball bits. I'm just all over those bots though. I'm killing it right now. Julio Rodriguez, 107 on that ground out. GeoGuessr on Foolish Bailey, please. So, David, I did do GeoGuessr with Bangle on his second channel, maybe his third channel. I believe the channel is Gene Dangus, but I did do a GeoGuessr video with Bangle. This was last year, though. Who's the bigger LOL cow, Wings of Redemption or DSP? I think, okay, I may be wrong, Wells Fargo Company. I may be totally wrong on this. But I think Wings, might have showed up in one of my live stream chat boxes a couple years ago. It might not have been him. It might have been someone else that was like a Call of Duty machinima guy, name brand guy, like 10 years ago plus. It might have been someone else. It might have been someone in like the White Boy 7 ST. It was someone like that. I can't remember who it was though, but it was someone. It was someone who was like, their name came up. I was like, oh, I recognize that. But as far as who's the bigger LOL cow, without a doubt, it's DSP. No one can touch him. It's DSP for sure. All due respect to Wings, it's DSP, Dark Side Phil. It would be so funny if like, let me ask you guys this: if I were a lol cow, would you support me financially throughout my lol cow phase? By that I mean like you know, like when I got on here to complain about you not spending money on me, and then my personal life was like in shambles and I was just completely like wrecked. Like, would you keep giving me money to continue excellent lol cow based content? Because, you know, that's what it's all about. Like, they are kept alive and by the people that dislike them. It's crazy. Not baseball, though. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I know. What would that look like? Anyways, I'll try not to end up like that. FPS Russia. I feel like is he a lol cow? Or is he kind of different? Is it possible to hit a ball with negative launch angle and XPO over 500 or all? I don't know. I feel like I wonder if there's like a Baltimore chop launch angle combination where you can where that's more than 50% likely to result in an infield hit. FPS Russia's in prison? I thought he was out like years ago. Am I crazy? I mean, I remember he went. How long do you think you'll continue making baseball bits? I think I got a few more years in me. And I wonder if maybe it's a thing that'll just like never end, which may be like I never actually stop making baseball bits, but maybe I reach a point where I'm putting out like 3 a year while I do like a bunch of other stuff, you know? I could see that happening. But as far as like doing it like where it's like the main thing I do, maybe 2 or 3 more years. But I don't know. I feel like that's always been my answer. I feel like if they asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I might have said 2 or 3 years, and yet here I am. What's your favorite baseball bits video, Bailey? I'm gonna say Rob Barajas, catcher who can't throw. So you may eventually become CGP Gray, mostly. Yeah, I think so, Zach. I think that's like a good... Because, I mean, I love making baseball bits, but it takes a lot out of me. And I think if you just want to, like... I don't know how to describe it. If you want to just, like, retirement plan, like, coast a little bit, and start to, like, harness, like, all the goodwill you've built up over a few years, like, a podcast would be a good thing to do. And I would love to do a podcast, and I would love to do a podcast specifically with Joey Votto whenever he retires. Joey Votto, hit me up. My business email is foolishbaseball@gmail.com. How much time is spent to make a baseball bit? It's just a lot. I mean, the most recent one I put out, I mean, I feel like it's at least, I mean, it's probably 60 to 80 hours of man labor, you know, man hours, which, by the way, it's only me, so those are my hours. If I had to guess, maybe not that much. It's tough to say. I get a little distracted sometimes. I hate podcasts, but I love your content so much. I listen to every single one. It's available. Yeah, and it's like, that's kind of what it is, right? That's what I mean by... Like, it's like, okay, we have, like, if you're a content creator, right, you have like a goodwill meter. And like every time I do something that is like pro viewer, you know, I build up the goodwill. And then every time I do something that's like pro me, you lose a bit of the goodwill. So like I take a sponsorship, you lose just a little bit. But I put out a really good video on time, you know. Do you have an editor to help? No, it's just me. And I kind of like it that way, because it's like, I think through the editing, you're able to, like, I'm able to put, like, my own personal touches on it. You know? Like, it's just like it's just another way to communicate with the audience. You know, not just what I say in the essay, but what I'm showing you. Editors are too expensive. They can't fully make what you want. I don't think they're too expensive. I do kind of feel the same way about the latter. I just think they wouldn't love it. They wouldn't feel the same way. It would just be a job for them, you know. For me, it's more of like a labor of love whenever I'm doing it. Love to see some long-term OTP rebuilds with input from Twitter baseball characters like Lauren. That's funny. I did her podcast batting around maybe a month ago, maybe a little more than that. I had a really good time. It was the second time I'd done it, but definitely check out that if you haven't. Thoughts on mustaches in MLB? We're seeing some strong mustaches this year because, you know, the AL mustache of the year, it's Matt Carpenter, and the NL mustache of the year, it's Spencer Strider, you know? Did Rodon pitch already? He has not pitched. Here's who's pitched. Nestor, Mantiply, Martin Perez, Castillo, Blackburn, Gonsolin, Fromber, Joe Musgrove, Alec Manoah, Sandy, Shane threw a lot of pitches. Jeez. And Clayton Kershaw. A couple strikeouts. Well, no, just one strikeout for Nestor. What's the GOAT baseball video game? So here's the thing. Here's the thing about GOAT baseball video game. I think for so many people, it relies on like what age you are. Like, I don't really think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just like, but for people that are my age, like I was 10 years old playing MVP Baseball 2005. And because I was 10 when I was playing that game, when you're 10, everything is just perfect and amazing. And so that's the best one, you know? Like, that's how it is. Have you played Super Mega Baseball? I played the second one. They're up to 3 now, right? I think I've played the second one. It's good. It's very good. I will say, Super Mega Baseball. It's it does not give off the appearance, but it is a very deep game with a very high skill ceiling, and that's what I really enjoy about it. But I haven't played it much. Also, the names of the players in Super Mega Baseball, incredible. No further notes on that. Yeah, I really liked. Yeah, I mean the names on Super Mega Baseball rosters are just like very special. There's a walk to Pete Alonso, Hammer Longballo. Pretty disappointed with the OTP nowadays. Yeah, I mean, it is. We are kind of at like, and I mean, seems like most sports series reach this point, but it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. It's this game again this year. Hack Liner, oh, great one. I'm trying to remember the one I really liked. It was like Junior, Senior, or something like that. Junior something Senior. Not to be confused with Junior Senior, the man that makes the band that made Everybody Move Feet and Feel United. Whoa. Not that. I think the White Sox will recover Junior, Young, Senior. Yes, that's it. Do you think the White Sox will recover in the second half of the season? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say they're out of it. Yes, fantastic music video, Wheelhouse. Maybe one of the best music videos ever. Oh yeah, it's a great song. What's that? Is it called Move Your Feet? I think that's right. Imagine if Pete Alonso had the yips but for hitting homers after losing. Yeah, like what'd that look like? Like if he just turned into if he turned into Stephen Kwan, that would be pretty funny. Will the Orioles be in the postseason? I'm gonna lean no. I think it's early. Baseball Cafe, Sopranos or Breaking Bad? I am going to say Sopranos, but they're both great. The thing that is underrated about both to some degree is that they're both very funny. I think Sopranos is very funny, and I also think Breaking Bad's quite funny at times. The Breaking Bad scene where Badger is describing his fanfic Star Trek episode is great, Oh, yeah, we're getting all the Braves because we got, it's Swanson and now it's Travis d'Arnaud. Brace. One thing about me is I'm addicted to calling the Braves the Brace because of Guillermo Heredia. Like, I can't even call them the Braves anymore. Who's your AL Rookie of the Year? Julio. No disrespect to Jeremy Pena. Jeremy Pena's having a season that would put him easily front runner in the NL. But I think just like going forward, I think Julio. It seems to be Julio's to lose. It feels like he's in the driver's seat. I need my Helsley. I need Helsley too. I need Helsley to come out, by the way, because we've got a little competition here for who's going to throw the hardest pitches. And so far it's Sandy. But if Helsley gets in there, I feel like he's throwing 100. Sandy Alcantara, 2023 top 10 Foolish 50, yay or nay? I would lean nay. I'd probably lean nay, but we'll see how the second half goes for him. He's been incredible in the first half, but top 10 takes a lot. The only top 10 pitcher I have had the last couple years, I think, is DeGrom, Maybe I had Cole in the 2021 version. I can't remember. Or Bieber. Nah, I can't remember. I don't think I did. I would guess, if I had to guess where Sandy ends up in next year's, maybe in the teens. Did you watch El Camino? I have not watched El Camino. I also have not seen Better Call Saul. Clay's going to be all over that leaderboard. Kyle Tucker, top 15. Well, he was high. Wasn't he like 19 in this year's? So it's possible. We'll see how his second half goes. I kind of feel like he'll probably end up right around where he was. Is there a sabermetric reason as to why no pitcher throws a knuckleball? I don't know if it's a sabermetric reason, but I can definitely share a few ideas I have. And I don't think it's sabermetric, but it is something about the modern game and player development. And the thing about the knuckleball is, generally, I would say it's a desperate pitch for desperate people. You don't just You aren't just like in high school and you're like, I'm gonna be a knuckleballer. You flame out of the minors. Your life is in shambles, and then the last possible thing you could possibly do to salvage your career is you learn how to throw a knuckleball, and then you become a knuckleballer. It's like R.A. Dickey type stuff. And I think where we're at right now in terms of player development and pitch design, it just seems like there are options out there for pitchers to where maybe they don't reach that point that they would ever think about throwing a knuckleball, because a knuckleball, it just doesn't seem like a pitch that people have really been able to design like that in a lab. There's just something, it's like a supernatural thing that like can't be explained by science in a way. And because of that, I just don't think there's much room for knuckleball pitchers to develop in the modern game. And I think the other thing too has been the juiced ball, the juiced ball, and we're not seeing it as much this year. I know that, but I mean, we've been playing, the juiced ball era started in 2015. And so, if you throw a knuckleball, it might get crushed every now and then. And when it gets crushed in the juiced ball era, that's generally going to be a bad outcome. Now we have a super chat here. We have a super chat of £5. 5 pounds? I think that's £5. 5 British pounds. 5 of the Queen's pounds. Most underrated all-time starting pitcher. Me thinks Steve. You're a king. Thanks for the great content. Yeah, well, I know Steve has gotten a lot of love from, of course, the wonderful John Boyce series. I will point out that right when at the beginning of this Foolish Bailey channel, when I was starting to take this having a second channel thing seriously, one of the first videos I made was an all-time not in the Hall of Fame team. And so I had a starting rotation within that. And one of those starting pitchers was Dave Stieb. Now, so he would definitely be up there for me. I think it's a great shout out. I'm also going to shout out another player who was in that team, and that would be Johan Santana, because Johan Santana, I swear, and his career stats he's pretty similar to Koufax. It's pretty similar. Hello, shout me out. You have been shouted out, Reina. I saw someone say that my playoff streams got way more viewers. This is true. I think I got 1,000 at one point. But I'm thankful for all of you that are here. And the thing about the playoff streams was I planned them and promoted them, and this is totally impromptu. So it's awesome just to have a couple hundred of you or however many there are right now with me. It's great. Was Cole robbed of the 2019 Cy Young? I don't think so. I think it was just a total coin flip. I think they both kind of deserved it in a way. So no, I think robbed would have implied that he was the clear-cut winner, and I don't think he was at all. My favorite Johan Santana moment was when Felix Hernandez hit a grand slam off him. Yeah. It's also the All-Star game. Yeah, but I don't really know where All-Star game viewership lines up with playoff viewership. I mean, I assume playoffs is definitely higher. April Stephen Kwan making next year's Foolish 50. Yeah, if it's April Stephen Kwan, I think he's got to be number one. May through July Stephen Kwan probably is not on the Foolish 50. What about Wheeler last year? Yeah, I kind of felt like Wheeler should have won it last year. The legendary thumbnails carried the, that's true. What one player would you realistically want the Braves to go after? I kind of think David Peralta. Maybe I should dream bigger than that, but that's what I'd like to see. It's 3:30 a.m. in Scotland. Many people are saying it. Albies for Chisholm straight up. There's no way the Marlins would take that. Well, I don't know. I mean, the Albies contract is nice. I would totally do that. I don't think the Marlins would. I think Bregman was robbed of the 2019 MVP. I don't think so. Do the Cubs have a bright future? They have more young talent than a lot of cruddy rebuilding teams. But also, I don't know about their farm system because, I mean, Brendan Davis is good, but I guess they have Pete Crow Armstrong. But it's I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Cubs. I don't know. Does Bauer have any utility, or is he washed as a pitcher? He's like persona non grata for at least the next year, So I know it's a 2-year ban, but yeah. I just wouldn't even think about it. He's like off the radar totally. Thing about Bauer is like if he ever does pitch in MLB again, like he has proven to be like a self-sufficient person in terms of his baseball ability. So, again, I don't know if he will ever pitch in the league again, but it's possible that after 2 years of not playing baseball, that he will still be in pitching shape if that's what he chooses to do. Just be in the lab for 2 years. I kind of think that's how he won the Cy Young in 2020. Like everyone went home and was playing quarantine baseball, but that was like his strength. Matthew Chestnut, you should throw a complete genuine meme guy in the 50 and not say anything about it. Up next at 24, Harrison Bader. The thing is, I think my list can sometimes get so weird that sometimes I think people think I'm doing that. Maybe not to the extent of like number 24, Harrison Bader, but yeah. Bailey, if I claim that Corbin Burns is currently having a 2-season stretch that oddly mirrors Pedro's 99-2000, what would you think of that? Well, I kind of see what you're thinking in terms of like the FIP and ERA. Like I can kind of see that. I can kind of see what you're saying. I don't think either season is as good, but I know what you're saying because you have the ERA year and you have the FIP year, right? Which is what Pedro had in 99 and 2000. I think that's what you're thinking along those lines. Coming in at number 5, Junior Young Senior. Yes. Are there any skills you think are undervalued in the game today? I think maybe like efficiency as a starting pitcher, like how many pitches it takes for you to get through a batter or an inning to some extent. Because there are those guys, maybe like, there are those guys that can have a good ERA, but that take a lot of pitches to do it, and they throw 100 pitches over 5 innings, and that's their start, I love your videos so much, man. Thank you. Hey, Seth, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. Is whip a good stat to judge pitching? I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, I get that it's an easy one, but to me, it's like, it's just kind of, well, first of all, here's why whip's not that great. Because it's like, a guy has a 1.1 whip, and that's great. And then a guy has like a 1.6 whip, and that's not great. But it's like those numbers don't seem that far apart, like 1.6 and 1.1, And it's just kind of like a weird way to express what is basically on-base percentage against, It's just to me. So I don't really, I mean, if you've watched the baseball bits, at least recently, you don't see whip come up a lot. I feel like there's other better stats that can tell the story. Who's the most underrated pitcher this year? I'm going to say the most underrated pitcher this year is, well, I'm going to give you 2 answers. Most underrated based on results in terms of like what they're actually doing very well at is probably like maybe like a Max Fried or like a Joe Musgrove. And then the most underrated in terms of like, oh my gosh, their peripherals are really good. What's going on here? Could be like Kevin Gausman or like Alex Cobb or someone like that. Brock Burke, that's a great shout, but he's a reliever, Hot take, Christian Walker, top 5 first baseman this year. He's been a big-time fantasy baseball pickup for me. My fantasy baseball team is not the greatest, but he has been good. Poor Cobb. I know. C should get more love. He's been getting a lot of love. Any thoughts on Bayo's first starts? They haven't been great. And I think if you're in the Red Sox position, maybe you don't have time for that. Like, you're out here trying to make the playoffs again. You don't have time to let this young pitcher figure it out. And so I would say maybe he's just not quite ready for a team like the Red Sox. If they were a rebuilding team, you could just get him his starts, give him his innings, and see what happens. But yeah. Does Kyle Wright continue his dominance? There's probably a little bit of regression incoming, but overall, I mean, he does look good. Are you hot on Michael Harris II? I think I'm hot on his defense. I think I remain a little less convinced on his offense. Will the Sox fire Tony La Russa? I think if they don't make the playoffs at the end of the season, then he will be fired. But I don't know. It's tough to say because Reinsdorf kind of gets the final say on that, and that's his boy, So we'll see. Maybe not then. I hadn't really thought about it. My dog farted, by the way. Nice. Do you think Schwarber will be able to continue his production in the second half? I think so. Schwarber's just he's just been really good the last calendar year. So I just think he's just a really good hitter now. Did you bet the over-under of 6.5 runs for this game? I would have bet the over. I mean, yeah, I would have too. But also, I'm not a betting man. How do you think the Mariners will handle Kyle Lewis and J-Rod? Well, I would stick Kyle Lewis in a corner. I would leave J-Rod in center and stick Kyle Lewis in a corner. Maybe Kyle Lewis, right field. Are you excited for Will Smith to close this game? Well, look. All I want in terms of closing this game is give me the home run derby. So whatever takes me to the home run derby. Anyways, in our velocity derby, Sandy Alcantara is still leading. Still leading the way. I don't know who is next to pitch for the American League. What do you think about OTP23? Have you played any? I really just haven't played it. Clay Holmes blown save. Interesting. Lewis has lost speed and is playing left field in his rehab stint. Okay, yeah. I think I would do that. I think I would leave Julio in center. Any thoughts on Castellanos? Well, I mean, I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. If Snit keeps Helsley out, I might cry. Yeah, I mean, I would use him for sure if I was trying to win. Which of your videos would you say has aged the best and worst? Your Bryce Harper video immediately proved itself true. Juan Soto video aged well. I would say Tim LaCastro video aged itself well because, I mean, he literally set the record for most stolen bases to start a career without a caught stealing and now has his cleats are in Cooperstown for it. As far as what aged the worst, that's easy. It's easily the Andrelton Simmons Hall of Fame video. But also that video wasn't just about Andrelton Simmons. It was really about the value of defense and blah, 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 and defensive metrics. But yeah, I mean, obviously the claim, bold as it is, as incisive as it is, it doesn't look true, But I would contend that there was a time maybe through the 2019 season where you could have made the argument that he was on pace. It's not like I completely made that up. Have you seen Yelich lately? No, have you? I was really hoping he would make a nice little post on Mother's Day. Do you have immediate plans to play Disco Elysium? And if so, would you ever stream it? I wouldn't stream it. I did buy it during the Steam sale, so I will probably play it at some point. Jorge Lopez in. Oh, yes. New Freed 8 is pumped. Gabio or NPB? I'm gonna go with. Well, I mean, MPB is it's higher skill league, but KBO was there for us at 5 a.m. on ESPN. So I think my answer is gonna be CPBL. Great question though. When will we get more baseball souls? If there's another lockout, probably. All right. Hey. In play outs. Easy as that. It's so easy for Jorge Lopez. All he needs is one pitch. He's just that nice. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. He's so good. He's unstoppable. Just a ground ball machine. Common Jorge Lopez out. I feel bad that he had like a long homer streak, like homerless streak to start the season, and then it kind of got snapped. Biggest all-star snub? Maybe Kevin Gausman. Maybe did Lindor ever end up making the team? I guess, you know what, I don't know. It's tough to keep up with the dang injury replacements because it's like, okay, you weren't an all-star, but also now you are, you know? Penn Murphy. Yes, you're right. Penn Murphy is the biggest snub. If you had to become a major league pitcher, what pitch mix would you choose? I think I'd be like a sinker cutter like guy. And I guess I'd also have like I'd be sinker cutter curveball split change. I just invented a new type of guy. Let me know. But I'd be a lot of sinker cutter. I don't think I'd throw a slider. I think I'd throw a slutter. I think that would probably be how I do it. Look at the Tyler Glass now. I'm 5'6", by the way, so I would be quite the sight on the mound. Oop, I hit the mic. I barely knew her. If you were a hitter, what would your top two tools be? Probably just hit and speed. You're deaf over 6 feet. Yeah, I'm 6'5". 6 inches, 5 feet. Make a random Hall of Fame prediction about a player under 23 right now. Julio Rodriguez will be a Hall of Famer. Known palm ball thrower. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with some of the... It was so fun in MVP 2005 when you could play with like the historical guys and you had like palm ball, like fork ball guys. Those were so much fun. I can't believe they took Jorge Lopez out after he's the greatest all-star pitcher in Major League Baseball history. I find it a little bit disrespectful. I understand they're trying to play the matchups, but I find it a little bit disrespectful. It's like, hey, he got Cronenworth out, he got Schwarber out, you know, let him cook. Holiday had a palm ball in MVP 2005. I don't remember that, but that's awesome. I remember there's a lot of splitter in that game because of like Clemens and Smoltz and some of the other like aging pitchers who had taken it up around that time. Spencer Strider, NL Cy Young 2023, calling it right now. I'd love that. I think one of the times I was live streaming, I think Spencer was here. I think that happened at some point last year, but it must have been during one of the wild card games, or maybe it was something else. But Spencer Strider is a foolish baseball supporter. You know what? I'm gonna come out and say it. I'm gonna come out and say it right now. I'm not ashamed to say it. I know June was last month, but Spencer Strider is my friend. I'm just gonna come out and say it, and I'm not ashamed. Should he be ashamed to be friends with me? Probably. Probably should be. Spencer Strider and Lucas Giolito are my friends. Juan Soto, common ground out. I love that guy. We got Soto on Soto right here. The people are saying that was another Juan Soto. Yeah, Matthew, you're right. The people are saying it. I'm not saying it, but many people are saying it. Sally Giolito never took you out to dinner. That's because I'm not... I know. He took out the guy whose name is your friend. We got it. You got it right there. I saw it right as you said it, Guard Tees. Gregory Soto, 100.4. He is in the lead. Also had a 99.4, but he really ran it up against Soto. Good for him. He takes the lead. Again, the only two things we care about, pitch velocity, and we want the home run derby at the end. Do you post content on LinkedIn? I mostly post like motivational stuff where I post my schedule, and my schedule is like, it's like the Mark Wahlberg. It's like 4:30 a.m. Wake up. 4:45 to 5:45, 10-mile run, 6 a.m. Shower, 6:10 a.m. Eat breakfast, 6 raw eggs, 1 quart of Greek yogurt, 7 a.m. Log on, 7:30 create pixel art, 8:30 download MLB clips. 12 o'clock, record voiceover, And I just post that on LinkedIn, and then at the end I write, this is what billionaires do. That's what I say. I say, this is the life of a billionaire. And then at the end I put 9:45 to 9:50 p.m. family time, and then 9:55 p.m. bedtime. When did you get your first billion? I remember when I made my first billion. I think it was around the time of the Tim LaCastro video. I think that was when I first hit a billion net worth. And I was really proud, but then I realized, hey, some people, you want to be a billionaire, but me, I want to be a trillionaire. Are you balding because of YouTube? Oh I'm balding because my grandfather's bald, I guess. I'm gonna try to hold on to it though. We'll see. Are you part Danish or do you just like the shirt? My buddy of mine went to Denmark. He bought that shirt. He was like, "Do you want this shirt?" And then I was like, "Yeah." And then now I have the shirt. And then later I went to Denmark, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm allowed to wear the shirt now because I've been to Denmark." Fascinating story. Anyways, Ryan Helsley's in 97.7 though, so I'm gonna need him to run it up a little more. I need him to try a little bit harder. Bald. I look like Ray Allen, as a wise man once said. Ooh, here we go. We're getting close. 100.2. 100.2, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Someone predicted it. Someone was like, Helsley's going to do it. And then I was like, yeah, I think Helsley's going to do it. Because he is nice with it. I mean, if he's at 100.2 third pitch, I feel like Gregory Soto has no chance. I feel like he's not going to survive. .9 on the slider. I think you should make a Yoran Alvarez baseball bits. I feel like that'd be interesting. He is definitely an interesting player. Very interesting story. I think that would be a good topic. Have you ever consumed an ice cream Snickers bar? Yes. And delicious. Delicious. One of the great desserts. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, somewhat recent development in my life. I mean, it literally happened not quite overnight. Yeah, it basically happened overnight. I'm like very lactose intolerant now. And you know, lactate's a thing. It's definitely a thing. But I have not enjoyed a full dairy ice cream since. Oatly slaps. Thank you for the recommendation. I need to look into these things now that I'm part of the community. Get on that Oatly ice cream tip. Yeah. If you can't lactate, you are weak. Well, look, that's a different thing. All right. Payne, Payne asks, Bailey, are you a corked up white boy? Look, fact is, am I going to bust it down sexual style? Absolutely. Am I goated with the sauce? It's hard to say. We're seeing a lot of 103, 102 shout-outs. Let's see what the good people on the Savant have to say. You know, the thing is, when you throw that hard, a lot of it goes to like manual review. It's the same thing like if you like crush like a 480-foot home run. So it might take a little bit extra time for them to post it up here. But it appears that Mr. Helsley has done what we knew from the get-go he could do. There it is, 103 flat to Luis Arias, who is, by the way, a deeply entertaining player. One of my favorites, but he's at 103. And it's going to be tough. You know, the only other guy that could maybe get there is Clace, and I don't think he's getting there. So I think it's Helsley. The Cespedes Family Barbecue, I can't remember which one tweeted it. But the Cespedes Family Barbecue account tweeted, and it was like, hey, I think if I needed one inning to save my life, I would choose Ryan Helsley right now. And I think they're probably right. Like, he's scary. Is Luis Arias the closest we've had to Ichiro? Andrew Stevenson baseball bits. I mean, Andrew Stevenson, pinch hit extraordinaire. Alan Craig baseball bits. Alan Craig in, what year was that? 2011? Incredible. I mean, what a year. Who's your favorite utility guy of all time? So as a Braves fan, I'm going to say Prado. Luis Arias with a nice single. Very nice single. Matt Stairs baseball bits. So I've definitely flirted with the idea of a baseball bits about a pinch hitter. Helsley filling up the leaderboard. Yeah, I mean, he's got the top 5 spots. I mean, 2 103s. I just don't think that's going to get beat. I saw a meme. I'm not sure if it was a Twitter post. It was the Moneyball scene where Jonah Hill's explaining all the players, like he's doing like the Chad Bradford, you know, and He's like, Billy, this is Andrew Benintendi. He has one of the best batting averages in the league. His weakness is that he can't play in Toronto. He cannot legally travel to Canada. Oh, man. Would it be like the Bonds one where you pick your all-time? No, I think well, maybe it would be like that. That's a good question, Jack. I hadn't really thought about it that way. But I think I would pick like someone who had like an amazing pinch hit career or season coming off the bench. And then but then maybe I would look at like some of their top like WPA type moments. We've got some 101.9, 101.7, by the way, from Helsley. So this is all him. This is all him. He also has 4 swinging strikes. Yeah, Lamonte Wade. That's a good pick. I mean, when Lamonte Wade like 10th in WPA last year for a hitter with like 381 plate appearances. I feel like I have that like ingrained in my brain. Baseball bits. Move on. Helsley intentionally allowed. Yeah, definitely. He definitely did. Down Bad Dav says, I would take Helsley deep. Well, that's just because you're constructed differently from others, you know? I mean, I would too. You don't see me hooting and hollering. 98.4, he's cooked. He's cooked. Take him out. It's over. It's time to retire. Is Matt Carpenter for real? Yeah, he's for real. I think he's going to hit about 60 homers this year. Probably finish with like a 1350 OPS. Yeah, he's for real. Would you wear a Helsley FB for $50K? Like if I don't know where it's going specifically on my body, I'm not sure if I would, because I think if it hit me in the head, I might die. So I would say no. If I knew it was going to hit me like in the like waist, sure. But I'd be terrified. Didn't you once say you were going to make a vid explaining all the different types of pitches? You know, I don't remember saying that, but sometimes I say things. So, possibly. To the balls, no cup allowed. 1 billion on the line. Ooh, I mean, so you know, you're basically saying I'm never gonna reproduce, and I'll probably never, I'll probably never enjoy intimacy. But I would get 1 billion, and I could do a lot of good with 1 billion. So I'm gonna say yes. I would, because I think I could do a lot of good in the world with $1 billion. And also, I could get a really sick PC. I was kind of thinking that, New Freed. I didn't want to go there, but I was kind of thinking that. You only have $400 million after you pay your medical bills. Yeah. All right. Clay Holmes. Looks like it's the Clay Holmes show up next. You could buy a kit of DDR5. Yeah, I could buy. I would finally have enough money to buy a 3080 Ti, 4 months ago when everything was inflated. Best SNL cast member right now or all time? Right now, I'm going to say the best SNL cast member is I don't know. Shane Gillis. Poor guy. With $1 billion, you could replace a commissioner. Could I with $1 billion, though? Could I with $1 billion replace a commissioner? I mean, because he's hired by a bunch of people, some of which have multiple billions of dollars, you know? So I don't think I could. Kenan Thompson is kind of the GOAT. Like, he has been literally doing sketch comedy since he was a child on all that. It's crazy. If I had like $10 billion, you know, name one good commissioner. Commissioner Gordon from Batman. Checkmate. Thoughts on Kyle Mooney's YouTube channel. Great interviews with the San Francisco Giants. Truly one of the pioneers of baseball YouTube with Good Neighbor. Key and Peele is better. I was rewatching the Key and Peele skit the other night, the one where it's like the a cappella group and then the improv group. That's a very funny sketch. It's very funny. Excellent stuff. My favorite Key and Peele sketch is definitely Continental Breakfast, though. Like, that is, like, right up my alley as far as, like, my humor. I love that sketch. And also, you can almost see, like, some of the influence of, like, because, like, Jordan Peele, like, loves, like, old kind of, like, thriller type stuff with, like, the Shining reference. Have you seen Lemmy's show? I've seen clips of it. I've never actually, like, sat down and watched an episode of the show. But I've seen, I've seen, like, various clips on YouTube. And also his Twitch streams are quite funny. Because he's kind of a fish out of water on Twitch, but he's just a fundamentally, like, funny person. So it's entertaining. Thoughts on the Hawks trading for, I don't even really know how to say his name. I know he was an all-star with the Spurs this year. DeJounte Murray? Wrong sport, I know. I think it's good. I mean, I'm going to miss Kevin Huerter, the ginger kid. Ian Anderson will as well. So they are like childhood friends, baseball teammates, and all that stuff. But I think overall it's a good trade for the Hawks. And I'm excited to see what they'll do next year. I'm very much like a fair weather Hawks fan. Like, if they're cooking, if they're doing good, I will tune in. And if they aren't, I will just go about my life. Do you use BTT TV and or FFC? I don't know what FFC is, but I do use the former. Who are you choosing for the Derby wing-off if it happens? Definitely National League. National League just has, if you just look at them, Dinner with Jay-Z or Dinner with Jay-Z. I would have to pick Dinner with Jay-Z of those two. Do you watch YouTube at all? Or do you mainly create content and watch sports? I watch a good amount of YouTube, I would say. I was mentioning earlier in the stream how the channel I'm watching the most now is Virtual. Both of his channels, the Trackmania streamer, I think he has great content. And I honestly like watching, he does like high effort kind of essay type stuff on his main channel, but on his second channel, which is basically just like edited clips from his streams, I feel like I watch those more. Like, I'll just watch him play Track of the Day and I'll just be very entertained. Or Cup of the Day is what it's called. Who do you think will be the best player by 2027? I think by 2027, the best player will be, I'm going to go Juan Soto. Are you a Channel 5 enjoyer? Yeah, I mean, the thing about Channel 5 is I feel like I kind of like fall behind on their videos. Like, I haven't seen like the last couple, but I do enjoy them. I think the thing about Channel 5 is like, they're really documenting like, Americana in a way that I think is like very positive. Like, even if we're just like, for some people, there's like a voyeuristic, they're here just to like laugh at like stupid people at like stupid protests saying stupid things. I think for me, it's like, you know, for better or worse, like you were showing like what makes America America. And I think it's really like a special thing that they've done. We got another one. We got a live one, boys. Give me a sec. Hide user on this channel. And then remove. Matt Mamba, I want to say congrats on your deserved success, your knowledge, humor, personality, and skill in drafting. Interesting lesson. Hey, Matt Mamba. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you to say. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the $5. One of my favorite things is having $5. You can do a lot with $5. Naked HD can't get enough of Foolish. I mean, it's crazy. It's like when you kill a cockroach and like their eggs drop and just like 10 more of them spawn in. You're like, oh boy, you just can't do away with it. Is there a Foolish Discord? There's not. I've been considering. Let me hear what you guys have to say, just because you're here. I would like to build some sort of community for like, not even just like, I mean, I would be involved in it to some extent, but really just for like more like Foolish baseball fans that talk to each other. Would you rather, I guess I can do a poll. Would you rather, I think there's pros and cons to both. Can you see that poll? Let's see if it comes up. Yeah. Because I'm not much of a Discord user. I'm not saying, I mean, we could do both, but it can do a lot of good and grow the community. It appears we're about 50-50, honestly. Interesting. I think the poll should be up top. Yeah, I know. It's tough, isn't it? I get that they're different things. But I like forums, I get, and, one kind of not good thing about Reddit is that it's replaced forums. Like, there's no forums anymore. It's just subreddit. But I like forums. Where's the neither choice? Oh, yeah. Well, fine. We'll do a Facebook group. That's funny. Discord is super confusing. I find it a little bit confusing, too. I find it, it's not really for me. I was really more of a Mumble, Ventrilo kind of guy. iMessage. We'll just do a group chat. We'll do a book club. We'll do a email list. Will you be doing spring training videos again? I don't know. I would really like to go to a winter meetings this year. I'd love to do some stuff at winter meetings this year, because the way the baseball industry kind of works, there's really 4 times a year where the industry converges. Okay, and those 4 times are, one of them is happening right now. It's the All-Star break. I'm not there in Los Angeles, as you can tell. World Series, which I did last year, winter meetings, and spring training. And so I've done World Series, I've done spring training, so I would like to do this year winter meetings, but we'll see. There hasn't been an in-person winter meetings in a while because COVID and then lockout. Since the earliest days of baseball. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Google Plus group. We'll do a Google Plus group. Liam Hendrickson, mic'd up legend, I must say. How much did you spend on the Braves World Series tickets? Wow, okay. Are you ready? I'll tell you. I will straight up tell you, dude. It's bad. It is bad. Because, by the way, if you've seen my World Series vlog, you can see where my seats were. Which was, behind home plate, but nosebleeds. And, guys, I mean, I feel... I spent... And here's the thing. I did not get a deal. I did not have a hookup. I did not, I just went on SeatGeek and I bought the ticket because I wanted to go. I spent $1,400 Isn't that crazy? That was more than a month of rent. But they won. And then they won the World Series. Pretty amazing. But I was like, that is like so like out of my character. Like I don't spend money like that. I really don't. But yeah, it's crazy. I know. Yeah. For one game, one ticket, one game, nosebleeds. It's rough. But it's like, my favorite team was in the World Series, you know? And they did win. They won that game. It was game 4. Oh, and here's the funny thing. Here's the kicker. I went to the watch party for game 6, which was their clinching game. Their clinching game was in Houston, so I did not go to that. I went to Truist for the watch party. I sat in the Delta Club, which are like really nice seats behind home plate. You have like your own club, like this huge indoor space to hang out. I paid $20 and I watched it on the TV, and I was like, this was an infinitely better experience. And it was for 1/70th of the price. And that's how I watched them win the World Series. Hey, big fan of the channel. Thank you for answering a bunch of my questions. Also, would you wish my high school baseball team luck for next year? Yes. Good luck to Andrew's high school baseball team. Play sabermetrically. Get on base at all costs. And don't be afraid to shift a little. Do you have any photos from that watch party? There's a video on my Twitter, I think, because I was there. I took my buddy there, and I think he took a video of me during the final out. So that would be the main thing I have from that. State title incoming. Yes. Best of luck to the Douglas first. Future Hall of Famer David Bednar. I really hope they don't trade Bednar. I would be upset. I would be an upset person if they traded David Bednar. Mostly because, well, first of all, it would be bad for my fantasy team, because if he's not immediately like the ninth inning guy to whatever team he gets traded to, my fantasy team's in trouble, you know? Describe baseball in one sentence to an alien that knows nothing about the game. Baseball is an earthling pastime that boils down to a series of 1v1s versus the pitcher and batter. Dude, Little League Baseball sucked for me. I wanted to pitch and play infield, but only the coach's sons and his friends got to do it. I gotta say it, many such cases. Many such cases. Bednar is low-key Murphy level thick, yeah. Also, Will Bednar, I also enjoy. I enjoy all Bednar pitchers. Bad sentence? What do you mean that's a horrible explanation? You do it in one sentence. You critics out there, you do it in one sentence. And you do it right now, off the cuff. How dare you criticize me? I have so many more subscribers than you. How dare you critique my explanation of the beautiful game of baseball? Get out of here. Pathetic. Okay, I'll do it. You're already too late. You already had more time to think about it than I did. Aliens would leave Earth immediately. Good. They're an existential threat to all of us. I've saved the universe. How dare you people? You people disgust me. Anyways, David Bednar pitching to Corey Seager. I do love me some Bednar. Are you a Felix Bautista truther? I mean, he's nuts. He's nasty. I don't know if he's good. That's the thing about Felix Bautista. Is he nasty? Yes. How good is he? I don't know. Let's hear it. In baseball, the pitcher throws the ball and the hitter tries to hit it with his bat. Yeah, you know what? It's probably better than mine. But also, it's really not that different from mine at all. I was really just about like hitter and pitcher. But you're right. Yours is better. I apologize. Baseball is like Finnish baseball, but not Finnish. Finally. I mean, a good explanation. There's a guy. Is he Finnish? No. Is he Finnish? There's a guy. There's a European guy. Yes, he is Finnish. He he was like a what do they call it there? Pescapalo or whatever. He was playing that, right? And then he just recently took up like regular baseball pitching, and he's like a young guy, and I think he's trying to like make it in organized baseball, even though he hasn't been playing Americanized baseball for very long. But he's like a really interesting case, and I don't know if Pitching Ninja covered him, but I got a DM from someone associated with him, and I watched some of it, and he was throwing in the 90s. I can't remember his name, though. But there may be a Finnish baseball hope out there. Man, how great is it to see Santiago Espinal in an all-star game? What a treat. Do you think there'll be a team that collapses second half, kind of like the Padres last year? Oh yeah, for sure. Someone's going to do that. If I had to bet which team that will be, I'm going to say that's going to be the who's going to collapse? But the Red Sox haven't been doing that hot all year. I would bet Mets, I guess. I mean the Mets are almost definitely going to make the playoffs, but it would be funny if they made it as like the third wild card and then lost, you know? I wanted to say Brewers, but it's kind of hard for me to see that. It's tough to say. I mean, the Padres were in a good spot, you know? They were in a better spot than some of these teams you guys are saying. All right. I would really like to see the home run derby, you know? And so it starts with Bednar getting out of this inning without any runs, and then we need the NL to tie it up in the ninth. Hader looks shaky lately. Yeah, I mean, I wonder what they'll do about that. If he keeps being shaky, would they take him off the closer role and use Williams instead? That'd be interesting. The Brewers bend but don't break. Yeah, I mean, I think the Cardinals are gonna win the division, but I don't think the Brewers are like bad, you know. Best former Little League World Series player. I mean, right now is it? Did Kershaw play in that? I can't remember. I know Bellinger did, right? I can't remember my Little League World Series lore. Brewers need to add a bat at the deadline. Who ends up second in the AL East? Second in the AL East will be the Rays. Poll's exactly 50-50 now. How do I end this poll? It's been enough. Did you know about Kershaw and Stafford? Yeah. Did you know that Max Fried and Jack Flaherty and Lucas Giolito all went to high school? They did. It's true. They all went to high school. Max Fried, he went to high school. Lucas Giolito, he also went to high school. And Jack Flaherty, he went to high school. He went to a school specifically for grades 9th through 12th. Great poll, guys. Man. Who's going to finish second place in your heart? In my heart? Well, the Blue Jays. But the Rays are going to finish second place, just to be clear. Bailey, did you go to high school? Indeed, I did. And I was quarterback of the football team. I was prom king. I was valedictorian. And I was point guard, and I was pitcher / shortstop. And I was voted most popular. And I was the best saxophone player in the band, and I've starred in Fiddler on the Roof, and I packed my own lunches. I was just that good. And voted most likely to run a baseball YouTube channel. It was a weird superlative at the time. But you can't argue with the results. And you were prom king. Yeah, I think I started with that. And I did win the talent show with my rendition of Bad Romance by Lady Gaga on the piano and also vocals. And I have and I had 3 of the Camaro, and I had 3 of the Thunderbird, and I don't live in a hotel, and I have a wife. Okay, so we're on to the bottom of the 9th. We need the National League to get a run. We don't need them to get 2 runs. Don't need that. Don't want that. We want a run because we want Ty France. We need Ty France. We demand Ty France. We need exactly 1 run. And it starts with Garrett Cooper. Would you rather have NL win or Ty France walk-off win? I guess I'd rather have NL win, but if Ty France did it, then... his name is Ty. Would you not want the guy named Ty to do the tie break? I don't know. Being a niche micro-celebrity is a talent. This is true. I've been saying this for years, Jay Delio. It is a talent. I'm a talented guy. Groove a meatball, give the people what they want. I agree. I'm not really sure if he can groove a meatball with how good his cutter is, but he could try. It's still going to move, probably. Oh, boy. There's no Ghost Rider rule, because if it ends in a tie in 9 innings, Andres, it goes to a home run derby, and each team has 3 representatives. What if they miscount Ty France's home run, and the game gets messed up? I want the run. Give me 1, not 0 runs, not 2 runs, 1 run. That's all I want. The streets are saying come to Miami. I think I am going to go to Miami. I have some friends moving to Miami, so I think I'm going to go see them in Miami at some point. Maybe I'll go. I kind of want to go because World Baseball Classic is going to be in Miami in February. I think I'd like to go to some of those. Go to some World Baseball Classic. Mike Trout, captain of the USA team. It's nasty. What's really funny is just build the Dominican Republic World Baseball Classic team in your head right now. It is disgusting. It is so good. I mean, it is an all-star team. If you just build the Dominican Republic, World Baseball Classic like super team in your head right now, it's terrifying to think about. First of all, a lot of them are playing in this game. Miami of Ohio? Yeah, just I'm a big Ben Roethlisberger fan, of course. Odds Posey on retires for the World Baseball Classic? Nah, I mean, to be safe, we really have to bring back David Wright. That's really the only guy that can save us. Any John Boy collabs lined up for the future? I mean, not currently, but I think generally, like, I'll try to do at least an annual trip to New York City. Last time I was there, I went, hung out in the office, did some content. I'm sure we'll do it again, They're doing big things. This is not looking great. Immaculate Inning? Are we on the Immaculate Inning watch? Hold on, let me look. I mean, yeah, well, that an Immaculate Inning would get in the way of. I mean, is he gonna do it? I mean, Immaculate Inning would get in the way of. Okay. No, he's not gonna do it. Immaculate Inning would get in the way of the home run derby. I must say. All right, Cronenworth, our last hope for a home run derby. Having a little trouble there, Red Rangers. Whoever said it in this chat jinxed it. Well, I think two of you said it. Jeff McNeil would have tied this. Don't you think he would have tied this? Stanton probably MVP at this point. I guess that's right. By WPA, it would be him. Should MLB replace the All-Star game with a wiffle ball game? I would rather see a blitzball game. MVP Mantiply. Now we're talking. Now you're Doc Wombat. Now you're speaking my language. His cutter is kind of a called strike machine. Yeah, that's your ball game. Well, we didn't get what we wanted. We wanted the home runs. We wanted the home run derby. We wanted Ty France. So many people are saying it. But there you go. It's your game. I thought NL was going to win that one, but it's the American League. Again, they win by a score of 3-2. I guess Stanton's probably your MVP, but my pick for MVP is going to be Jorge Lopez because I think he got like 2 outs in like 3 pitches. So Jorge Lopez, you heard it here first, the best player in the All-Star game, and that probably makes him the best player in the league. So there you go, Orioles fans. I think I'm going to end the stream. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this impromptu stream. We held on to, few hundred viewers, about 350 viewers all throughout the evening. I had a lot of fun, and we'll do it again sometime during the postseason, probably during those wildcard games. And I really appreciate it. If you want to, some of you have super chatted tonight. If you want to also support what I do financially, you can check out the Patreon. I do video Q&As on there. And the months I don't do a video Q&A, I do exclusive video content, so kind of like a Foolish Bailey type video, but exclusively for the patrons. I also do work in progress type content, so you can, and very soon I'll be posting up my sort of work in progress, what I'm working on for Baseball Bits for the month of July. You can also get your name in the credits of a Baseball Bits if you go on the Patreon. So patreon.com/foolishbaseball. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the All-Star Game with me. I was a little bummed I couldn't make it to LA this year, but as consolation, I got to hang out and watch the game with you all. And so that meant a lot to me. Thank you so much. And we will now end the stream. OBS.